Hey,
How's everyone?
Hi, everybody.
I am typing something.
we are going to
Like-
squirrel the fuck out this time again. We're shooting for 3 hours a night.
Yep.
And we only have like 5 minutes worth of notes.
Oh, so at least 2 hours. Okay, cool. We're good.
We got this. Hey, Mikey, what's up?
Hey!
Hey. Hello, the name I cannot pronounce. Hello.
Oh,
Thank you.
is that
Thank
a
you,
Russian
thank you.
name?
I don't think it is a Russian
Because
name.
I am drinking a Russian stout
Because
again.
that last name is actually Celtic. I can tell you that. Because
Is
I
it
like
Celtic?
You
Does-
stop that. Hey, Jackal Demon.
Hey, Jackal Demon.
Are we?
Hey,
Are we just?
Sonia.
Are we just betting in Russian rubles again?
We're betting in
Rubles?
Russian rules. Hello, Susan.
Hello, Susan.
Hello,
I
Strules.
prefer to deal in Canadian Maple Leafs, but that's just me.
Would you like some Metamucil?
Speaking of Canadian Maple Leafs, we were watching Letterkenny earlier.
I love that show,
love
man.
it
I
so
love that show.
You know
That-
what's awesome is we need to talk more because we don't have notes out.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
We can do this. We got
Oh
Is that-
no!
are those the notes from before, or because I thought we were reading from the website?
Yeah, I copied them.
Oh, you
So
are.
I knew where we stopped.
Look at you going to your rave tonight and everything.
No. I'm sorry.
Boots and cats and boots and cats and- I sound like a jazz musician or elevator music
Yeah.
right there. Snake jazz.
Snake jazz. Hi guys, welcome.
Well, that's the show.
We're doing great.
We're good.
Can't tell.
We got everyone with us tonight.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have Mikey with us. He's
We
in the chat.
don't.
though.
Mikey's in the chat though. And yeah, it's okay. Shit happens. Glad to see you here. Watching Star Trek Beyond. Nice.
Is that the one where they can? Is it Star or is that a Star Trek Discovery? Where the one of the Star Trek, not Enterprises, but one of the starships, the main saucer spins, and then they'll flip like through like realities or something like that. It looked kind of cool.
Yes.
I
Thank
watched
you,
that one.
Susan. Share, everybody.
I just want to go watch Picard. I haven't watched anything from Picard
I
yet.
saw
heard
most
it's
of
good.
season 1 of that, and I loved it. And what I haven't seen so far, I know it's like a who's who of Next Generation.
That is
And
what we're
then
doing. Yeah.
new seasons. I want to see that.
I
Lower
like-
Decks is brilliant. If you haven't seen that yet,
I heard that's actually the best right now to watch
Dude.
of all of it.
it's like borderline Rick and Morty, not quite that far, but borderline Rick and Morty for but
I
for Star
can't
Trek.
wait for Little Demon.
Have you seen that?
I just
Have
still
you
want a
seen it?
tribble, and if anybody gets me a tribble, then everybody's got to get Carl a tribble too.
Don't they have a triple episode in the lower decks? I thought they were saying something like that.
It was mentioned heavily. Like everything gets mentioned though. Like even Janeway gets mentioned like 50,000 times. Like everything is.
Oh, Janeway's the beast, man. She's like,
She is.
I
That's
freaking
my wife's
love
favorite captain.
Yeah, she's my favorite too.
Nice.
Carl, there's a Star Trek Tribble for $9.99 right now.
On eBay. You can also get a giant one on Etsy for $119. And you can also get a giant one on Amazon for $119 as well.
We need a tribble. We need a
I want
tribble
a
and
giant
see the cat.
tribble. I just want a giant tribble. Like
Yes, the trouble with tribbles. Exactly, Sherry.
Yes. Hey Angie.
Hi, Angie.
All right, so I'm going to read it this time.
Are you? Do you want me to do the thingy for
No,
you?
no.
Why
do
not?
No, please do not.
We're just gonna fight over who reads
Let's-
who reads the U.S. code.
Welcome to Celebrity Deathmatch.
This is how much we nerd out here. Who gets to read the U.S. code at Psycho Buddy?
Do you want to?
No, it's you. You made a fuss about it. Have fun. Fuck.
You called shotgun.
I did. All right. Under the fair use, another author may make limited use of the original author's work without asking permission pursuant to 17 U.S. Code 107. Certain uses of copyrighted material for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, or research is not an infringement on copyright. So take that, Zuckerdouche.
Meh.
Yeah, see? It's a Tommy gun.
Also, this one needs a lot of trigger warning.
There's a lot of shoe sniffing in this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of necrophilia.
Actually, no, that's the tame
in this one
side of it.
Also, I just wanted to bring this up one more time, guys. Otherwise, being Evermore for president, 2024.
He's looking very presidential lately.
Extremely presidential lately. Yes. Vote otherwise.
Otherwise, what?
Otherwise, we're screwed.
Otherwise, the new clown apocalypse.
New clown
The
apocalypse.
first one was only a taste.
Hey, John.
We said, oh, you didn't say hi.
I didn't say hi to John.
Well, hi, John. Let's see. Is there anything else that we need to warn people about?
you
Warning.
can do the fun one.
The related content may be disturbing to some individuals.
We are full of trigger warnings. What are you talking about?
This video contains super awesome content, not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness, like shoe fetishes.
Did you guys
Viewer
get the new one
discretion
ready?
advised.
The don't try this at home warning.
Oh, I have
Oh,
not.
yeah.
We had one at one point.
Don't.
We have had this.
Just
I can't vote. I'm in Canada.
you
still
can vote in Canada.
Cross the
You,
I'll switch you places. I would totally be happy to just
Gotta go
move
lock
into
my
Canada.
doors.
I honestly probably would be happy in Canada with this heat right now, and
Can somebody just take me
Hey.
to Norway?
I got some
All the
good friends
hay.
that are like waiting to just smuggle me across the border into Canada, just keep me forever, just not tell anybody about it. That's our big plan.
I don't think you have to
It's
be
my
smuggled.
retirement
But then you have to eat mayonnaise forever on your hamburgers.
I don't
I'm
eat
okay
mayonnaise
with that. I already
anymore
do that.
anyway, but you know what?
I do too.
I
Legalization
lick
rules
mayonnaise off the
laws down there are
spoon.
awesome. So I'll be so trashed all the time in Canada that I won't know that I'm eating mayonnaise.
Somebody get me a puppers.
We can't get puppers here. Puppers is a
I
real
want a
thing.
puppers.
What's
They
a
actually are-
puppers?
Puppers is
Sounds
is the
lewd.
beer. It's the beer. It's lewd. It's the beer on Letterkenny. It's an actual real. It started off as a little joke on there, but
Yum.
it became a real beer. They got people to brew it for them, and I've tried looking into ordering it so I could try it because I don't like lagers at all, but
It's
I
a
was willing.
puppers.
I was willing to try it, but I can't get it here. We can't have it shipped to the U.S. or something like that.
I also want a Gus
Really?
and
That's
Brew.
weird.
Gus and Brew is real too.
I want to try Gus and Brew.
Yep.
Gus and Brew's their whiskey.
I'm pretty sure it's terrible whiskey too.
Oh, I'm sure it's like what is that one?
Well, I mean, Crown Royal's
It's
pretty
probably
good, but the rest
it's probably maple whiskey.
I actually
that would be good.
don't mind maple. The best whiskey I've ever had was peanut butter whiskey. I thought it was gonna be gross. It's
It is a Canadian
amazing.
beer. Sherry, send me
Peanut
some.
butter whiskey.
Yeah, it's doesn't. It's good. It sounds
My
like it's
problem
gonna be
is I hate
gross.
peanut butter.
Hi,
I'm
Ann.
anti-peanut butter.
Ooh,
Yeah,
I like
so
Reese's
I can't
penis.
do-
Penis.
That's the
I
only
just-
time. Like Reese's penis. I'll let Reese know.
I like Reese's Pieces.
I like Reese's
I can
peanut
do
butter
Reese's
cups.
like in like
Um,
certain kinds of fudge with it like peanut butter mixed in, but if it just tastes like peanut butter, no,
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
Peanut butter jelly
I
time,
can't do crunchy peanut butter,
jelly
and that's
time.
all this one gets is crunchy peanut butter. It's
Yeah.
like extra peanut y, and
Yeah,
I have to have
love
smooth peanut
crunchy
butter.
peanut butter.
If you
Super
want to run
chunk.
me off, dude, just peanut butter or bananas, and I'm done. I'm gone.
No, I love peanut
Smell
butter and
either of
banana
them.
sandwiches
I
I
do
just can't
too.
smell either things, man.
with honey, toasted
Blame
with
my-
honey.
Blame my siblings for that because they would like put me up to these weird contests and tell me, "Oh, we'll see if like you can do this invention we created and not break your arm. Will you eat like
I-
bunches
And
of
not
bananas
break your
in under
arm.
5
Wait,
minutes?" No, no.
what?
See, I'm
not
seeing
kidding
a
you.
whole.
I am not
It's
kidding.
Mikey. He likes it. He'll eat anything.
That was me as the kid because they would take our swing set and turn it into a pirate ship that had a bridge made out of sheets to the tree across the yard, and I would have to walk the bridge to see if it was safe. I
They
was
make you
twice
walk
their-
the plank.
I was like younger than them and then more than twice their size. So they thought if they made me do it, they would be safe. So I broke limbs, I've got scars, but the bananas were the worst because it was 5 bunches in under 5 minutes. Mom was gonna make banana pudding. We were
Oh.
at like
Ooh.
we were at the post office in the parking lot when I'm doing this, and she's
That's too much
inside.
potassium.
3.5
That's
minutes, I got in, barely over 3 bunches. I got so sick, and to this day, if I smell bananas, can't do it, man.
Yeah. Well, that's
Can't do
understandable.
it.
Mikey, hey, I do not like everything.
I think everybody misunderstands that commercial. They said he won't eat it. He hates everything.
Yeah.
The deal was Mikey
I
would
thought
not
they
eat
were like,
anything.
Mikey will eat it. He eats anything.
No,
The fact that he likes
the
it is
idea
the big
was
deal, yeah.
if Mikey's willing to eat it, then it must be good.
The Mandela effect.
Oh.
We're right here, guys.
It is.
He's
It's the
totally right.
Mandela
It is.
effect.
Because the end of that commercial is Mikey likes it because it was such a big deal that he hates everything.
The funny
Yes,
thing is, if you
exactly.
listen to it
Yeah.
again, it does sound like it says he'll eat anything.
Oh yeah, his enunciation is terrible, but
Yeah.
that's what he was saying.
But, you know, I heard
remember
Mandela
Mars
died in prison too, so I really did hear that, and you can't find it anymore.
Is it Bernstein
Calvin!
Bears or Berenstein Bears, man?
You know what? I always said Berenstein. I know it's
Because-
Berenstain, but I've always said Berenstein.
No, the
Here's the
Berenstain.
I swear it used to
Bears-
say Berenstein.
Yeah, they were in that movie with Shaquille O'Neal where he played the wizard.
Sinbad. Sinbad was
Shazam!
Shazam.
Sinbad.
Was a genie Shazam.
Shazam!
Here's my thing.
Shazam.
Like, I don't believe in any of that whole conspiracy theory because one, it was probably invented by stoners just like me who can't remember things half the time. And to make us feel better, we make shit like this stuff that we clearly don't know, and that's how the
And
Mandela
well
effect
hats.
started.
Yeah, it's probably two people were arguing over something and they came up with the Mandela effect as a compromise.
Yeah.
So neither of them had to be wrong.
And now it's a thing because the internet.
Or they just decided they were going to pull the biggest prank and go down there and build the Georgia Guidestones.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. And then blow them up.
But what about the Parthenon in
Exactly.
Tennessee?
And then blow them up.
How did that happen? I know we're scrolling out a
Well,
lot here.
somebody
Woo,
set
Jerry
explosives
Brudos.
on it and
Yeah.
they detonated them.
It was so.
Yeah, but
people-
weren't they? Don't they have a camera on that thing? And they never had anybody on camera showing that they
was
like
something along
set
those
the
lines.
explosives up.
Rocket
It was
launcher.
magic.
It is Georgia.
A rocket launcher. That is
All I
it's
know
true. It
is
could be.
whoever
It was
did
probably
it-
a potato gun.
Whoever did it had really nice shoes, and that's our segue.
That's our segue. I almost brought out the red bottom heels again. I thought about it. I was
Would-
going to show them off.
Red Bottom Hills be Jerry Brutus's Fat Bottom Girls.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because what you need to understand about red bottomed heels is they're like the most coveted stiletto ever.
Are they red on the bottom?
They're black stilettos with red bottoms, like underneath.
I would never
Red
want to
Oh,
wear
I know what
them.
you're talking about.
Yeah,
I would literally just keep them.
they're
put up.
like a couple $1,000s, like the Dior brand that I think it was Dior that came out with them originally. It was either Dior or like Louis Vuitton that came out with them originally, and they are like a couple thousand minimum for these shoes. So yes, they would be his Fat Bottom Girls.
Okay.
I just have a pair from it's Louis Vuitton. Yes. It is Louis Vuitton. I corrected myself, and I'm glad you corrected me.
You stand for the
But-
truth. Got nothing.
No, I mean, like, I finally got a pair, but they're not Louis Vuitton. Buy our merch!
they're Louis Vuittons.
No, let's be real. We got them from the slut store.
Oh, I remember those. What we were gonna. You
It's
were.
for my Frankenfurter outfit.
Oh yeah.
Even though I
was
was
even
not
saying,
going
I
to
was
be
like-
showing off my shoes.
I said that the whole time. Well, you're not going to be showing them off. We're literally sitting
I
down.
still had to wear them. Because
My only experience with stilettos is I bought some at this little kitschy resale shop, like kind of like in Atlanta's like Little Greenwich Village type thing up at Little 5 Points.
Mhm.
And I had them for a week. And I said, screw this shit, and took them right back and sold them right back to the resale store.
yeah, I could stand there and look pretty. That's about it. I can't walk. in
That's
them.
all you
It's like a
can
baby-
do. There's no
like a baby
walking.
giraffe.
There's no walking in stilettos.
No,
Stab
but Adriana, one of our bridesmaids, she wears nothing but stilettos. This
Oh
woman
my
can run in them. And I'm sitting here struggling to stand in them.
She's
Can't
probably a
you walk in
karate
those
expert too and uses them in a deadly way.
That being said, John just said my daughter got in a fight and was beating a girl with her high heels.
When you didn't have a shovel.
By the way, there is a hypothesis that fat bottom girls make the rocking world go round.
Yeah, I heard that. There's a theory, and we're still in the process of proving that theory.
I think they even wrote a song about it, didn't they?
They did.
Really? Yeah. The theme song for the campaign.
I'm pretty sure that was Brian May specifically that wrote that, but
because he was a scientist.
Follow the science, people. God.
I still love the fact that one of the best songs about thick hot chicks was sang by one of the
no,
he was very
he was
bisexual,
bi.
but he was very flamboyant
quite a bit.
And then
but
you
he also had sex with women.
And then you also have Judas Priest. You also have Rob Halford, the gayest man of all time in metal. Literally just creating the style of metal. I thought it was cool as fuck.
All I heard was, "I've seen his nuts." that's what I got from that whole conversation that was happening just now. My brain just zero focused on it.
It's fucking true.
We always revert back to prepubescent. We saw boobies.
This wasn't one of those glorious
on
moments.
some shows, we count them.
Oh no, you look terrified. Like I was gonna have you like blink once if you were traumatized by the event.
It was Judas Priest reunited with Rob Halford, and he comes out.
You were front row, weren't you?
I was not just front row; I was right there. Okay,
saggy old man balls.
And she got teabagged. In other words,
she can't roll the tank.
It was hellbent for leather.
It was hellbent for Morningstar nuts. Is that what you're about to say?
And you know how like they do the motorcycle thing where he comes out and
his balls got caught in a bike chain?
No, God.
I think that would have made the news big time.
Good night, you big balls.
Yeah, he kicked his leg over and he was standing there with one leg forward, one leg back, going hell bent for leather, and he's like gyrating back and forth, and his balls came out of his shorts. And
I can remember them talking about that when I was in high school, and so that tells me it must have happened more than once.
Yeah, I actually got backstage shortly after that.
Like being traumatized.
Now that we know each other very well.
Hi, Nadine.
Stardate 478 on the expedition for more nuts. I headed backstage.
That was when I met Andrew Briniarski, and I got thrown over his shoulder.
Cool.
So,
He's a big dude. He is huge.
Yeah. Nadine says, I saw Judas Priest. I did not see his nuts, and I'm totally okay with that.
You missed out, Nadine. Like, totally. Apparently, this was a memorable experience.
I know when you get old, they do drop, but I don't think his balls would have gotten caught in the bike chain.
Humans in the past.
Rob Halford is a trooper, though. Like when I saw Judas Priest, he just had hip surgery, hip replacement surgery.
Dude, he's awesome.
There was only one part where he faltered when he almost fell off a stand, but he stumbled back and got right back up. He did a 3-hour set.
He's a true rock star.
He's a fucking badass.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Brocky all the time, man.
Dave Brocky, his nuts are.
Oh, I miss Dave so much, man.
Dave Brocky did not mind showing off his real Cthulhu or cuttlefish. His real cuttlefish is Cthulhu. He showed that off left and right too.
Helicopter.
Just by the way,
Jennifer.
We're about 8 minutes from our first commercial break. Just so you know.
All right, we got to start.
And we have not even got into Brudos yet. We are talking about old man balls.
So how is Brudos not like the Gromble? I'm confused here because they were the shoe fetish. Gromble's murdered people.
What? Monsters.
Gromble. Yeah. I mean, he's got bodies in his closet. He's into the high heel shoes. I don't know.
All right.
Okay,
and it's Nickelodeon.
One last comment. The only time I saw a Peanut was watching Independent Wrestling Incident with the wrestling, with wrestling last year.
Oh wow.
We are not mature enough for this shit.
There's stuff I want to say, but we got to get going.
Okay, so 8 minutes, actually now 7 minutes till commercial. Let's start.
We only got 5 minutes left of script, so let's get through. I'm joking.
So in the fall, oh Jesus Christ,
Her computer timed out.
This isn't
Coming
her new
this
script.
fall.
What is going on here?
oh God,
Did you
I'm an idiot is what's happening.
did you copy the wrong one?
This is
No.
a script about potato farming.
You did go to the wrong one.
I had to dig up all my
Had to dig up all my damn taters.
Coming this fall, Jerry Brudos is the shoe store attendant.
Was Al Bundy based off Jerry Brudos?
Okay, so
He
there's
is
a reason
now.
I had to actually look this up now.
Okay.
Is because it was 1967. That was the year I was looking for. The part of my notes started with in the fall of the same year.
Oh. Okay, so I was way off because I
And
was thinking that
like,
he was
what
caught
the
in
fuck
61
year
for some
was
odd reason.
this? So in the fall of 67, Brudos did kill again after his first murder, which was Linda. What was her last name? It was a weird last name. Do you remember it? Because I'm way past.
No,
my
I
notes.
blanked out on it now. I think we're good. Just keep going.
Okay, it was Linda.
Listen,
Okay,
Linda.
listen, Linda. I shouldn't say that. I feel bad. Okay, so let's get back into this. He killed again, and this was a college student named Jan Whitney. She accepted a ride from him after her car broke down, whereupon he strangled her and raped her dead body in the car.
This was okay. This is another one where the car. So her car broke down, and there was 2 other guys with her. Again, he's supposed to leave some of it out. There was 2 other guys with her, and he convinced. This is how he was also one of those people who could turn on the charm.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically convinced them. He's like, "Look, guys, I got the tools back at my house to get your car fixed. Just have her come with me." And that's what happened. And they went back, and when he got back to his house, he's like, "Okay, see, my was it? I think it was my." He's like, "My mother's there. We just need to wait for her to go to bed. Let's just hang out and talk for a second." He literally just. I think he practically did the handcuff game on her too.
No, this isn't the same girl.
Oh, it's not.
And by the way,
Wow.
Linda's the second girl, not the first girl.
No. But the second girl,
Really?
he was able to get in the back seat with her, hang out with her for a little while, strangle her, do
That's
stuff.
that's Linda.
What do you mean?
There's 2 Lindas. So his
It-
first and last kill was Linda. Linda Slauson was the encyclopedia woman we
Slauson was
talked
the
about.
first one, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Linda Slee was one of the last
It's
one, or was
the
the last
one
one
that
the
he was
shot.
Oh,
trying
okay.
to keep his wife from finding out, not his mom.
Okay.
Oh, well, there was no one home, is what it was. He just
He was
Did
making
it.
shit up.
Yeah.
But so let's get back into talking about Jan Whitney. He hoisted her up from a pulley in the garage and had sex with her corpse multiple times. And at one point,
Man.
cut off her boobs again and made a resin mold of it so that he could use it as a paperweight.
was
And then threw her body in the river and this time tied it down to a railroad iron.
again, guys. Trigger warning. It's
The
rough.
first time it was tied down to an
How is he
engine
not seen doing all this? First, it was a motor to a car,
block. Yeah,
and then
Right.
the second time, it's a railroad tie.
yeah. I don't get it.
Look at Arthur Shawcross. He only got caught because he went back. He went back to a body that the cops were there. He just found off the river,
hmm
and he literally just did the bold thing. Was like, "Oh, I just pulled over to take a piss," and the cops are like, "No, there's something weird here." They actually on that one they did pull him in. They're like, "No, you have all these priors. You murdered a child before. We're going to look into this." But
That is
Yeah.
creepy. Yeah, absolutely. I really feel like maybe I should do this one more time, guys.
the trigger warning.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, probably.
Well, first off, let's do this one. Parental advisory, explicit content. It's up there on Raz.
I was gonna say, I love how it's specifically like right here.
It's trigger warning, guys. Trigger
Okay.
warning. All right. Yeah. yeah, corpses do stink and they ooze stuff and they go stiff and yeah,
He
gross.
he was all about the
Yeah.
product. I guess you'd say he was a product killer or something like that. Like he was all about that. He did not
Ugh.
care. This went on. He would go on for days doing stuff.
So in 1969, this is the one you were talking about. He abducted Linda Sally and brought her to his garage where he raped her, strangled her, and then mutilated her body. Her corpse was also thrown into the Willamette River and tied to a car transmission. Okay, so we have an engine, we have railroad iron, and we have a transmission. All the while, Brudos collected trophies from his victims, which he kept in his garage to keep his wife from finding out. He forbade her from ever entering that part of the house without his permission.
And
See, now Oddfather would know if he said, I forbade you from going in this section.
Right.
He would come home to find me with bolt cutters and all kinds of things trying to get into this area he forbade me to go into.
that would have been the whole looking at you going, what we doing
Say
here?
something. I dare you. Just say it.
Are we teaming up on this or am I going to jail?
I got a weird message like after we did the first show. Someone reached out to me. Turns out it was a friend of mine growing up through school, and he found out we were talking about like Gary Brudos, and he messaged me and said he's like, I know you probably don't realize this or remember it, but the last victim, and it's pronounced Salih, I guess.
Salih, okay.
Yeah, was his cousin, and I had no idea.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
no.
Did not know that either.
And
Well,
he
wouldn't
messaged me about it, and he said that he watched it, and he actually really he's got an interesting sense of humor, so he actually laughed right along with us, but he liked that we were talking about it because of it not being so well known that it was nice to actually hear it being mentioned and spoken about. So I thought
Well,
that was
and
like
these
a really
victims,
cool,
sadly, these victims are forgotten about in these cases that are lesser known.
yeah,
And they shouldn't be, you know?
They
Yeah.
are victims in most of this stuff because our culture is very much based around violence. I mean, that's why we're all into a lot of this stuff from the video games. And I'm not saying video games or anything like that are the problem, but I'm saying if you look at from horror, the horror community and everything like that, everything we read. What's up?
Sorry, it was Sprinkler. Karen Sprinkler was the name I was trying to remember. Go ahead.
No, but everything is based around that, and people want the juicy details of everything. And then I can't remember which podcast it was, but they brought it up. Victims that live are much more. People don't want to hear about that because then you
Nobody
actually
cares.
have. Well, it's not that nobody cares; it makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It makes things more real than opposed to someone dying when stuff like this happens, and then it's easier to just
Right.
push them under the
oh my
rug.
gosh, I'm so sorry, and then move on. But yeah, when somebody's had to go through it.
Oh yeah,
Going back to Criminal Minds, what we were watching yesterday. Remember when it was the people that survived versus the people that were dead?
Yeah.
In their Columbine-esque episode.
We-
But then there was also the aspect of one of the people lying, and somebody had gotten knocked out who had actually been the one to stand up to the bully. And nobody remembered his name because by the time he came to, somebody else was telling his story.
yeah.
Oh,
So-
wow.
Yeah, and these are I know Criminal Minds is completely fake, but they do draw from real life incidents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they try to take aspects from real things that have happened, and they make mention of real life things. They were talking about Columbine in that one, so they made mention of Columbine.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the girl who got really publicized about praying and that kind of stuff. And I mean, we don't need to get into that part, but
Right.
just the fact that they apparently a lot of that was falsified. Like there were a lot of aspects from the survivors that were falsified.
Well-
But then there were the survivors that people just never even knew their names because nobody ever wanted to talk to them because they didn't care.
Right.
Yeah.
And because it makes them feel bad. Oh my
Yeah.
God, you went through that.
Well,
And
it's
then
not
they
just-
feel like they have to walk on eggshells or something around them.
It's not just feeling bad; it's especially people who are extremely empathetic or have, people who are empathic to a lot of this stuff. They can feel it and put themselves there and be like, "Oh my God, that could have been me." After
And then there's me going, tell me all of it.
yeah. Well, after the whole the theater shooting and stuff like that with
The Batman.
Batman.
Yeah.
Every
The
time,
Aurora.
yeah, it freaked me out. Like I would go in there going, "Oh my god!" I kind of stayed away from theaters for like a few months and everything.
I always look at exits.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually remember the Criminal Minds episode. It was a good show. Yeah.
Did you ever see the Uwe Ball movies, Rampage 1, 2, and 3?
No.
They're extremely well done. The first one is extremely well done. The other two are okay, but it's literally about a kid that, young adult that snaps and gets all the parts to make body armor and guns and stuff like sent to his house in packages and with an unmarked name, but the correct address. And he literally plans it all out and decides that he's going to do it today. And he goes around town. It's like a modern version of that movie Falling Down from the 80s. Like
That was a good movie.
Okay.
It's like that, but way modernized and way more intense.
Right.
But he ended up making a whole trilogy of it. And let's be honest, Uwe Ball isn't really exactly known for the best movies. Fun movies, yes. Bad movies, also yes. But,
Totally ruined Blood Rain.
and Coastal and House of the Dead. And
That's not the only thing he's totally ruined.
Yeah. And he took the series like way too far because then it went to the guy like holding up the government and all kinds of different stuff. But the first one was well done, and it was a really good look, I thought, about not only what the mind of someone that might be doing that is like, but also how that affects their families and the families of the people, the victims. Like it was actually a well done movie, and I recommend it to everyone, even though it's Uwe Ball, because I'm convinced it's like the one crowning achievement that guy did, and it's actually better than any other movie of this type I've ever seen.
It's his Citizen Kane.
I'm gonna check that out.
I'm gonna say it right now. That's his Citizen Kane, and it's better than probably any other movie I've seen on the subject, which is weird to say because it's Uwe Ball, but it's it's that good, and I'm picky as shit.
There is a documentary on Netflix called Tread about a guy up in Alaska who kind of gets into a spat with the locals in the town, and he buys a bulldozer and spends a few months in his shop with that bulldozer, basically armor plating it and arming it. And then he just one day starts going around town, knocking down people's houses and their businesses. And, the cops are trying to shoot at him and they can't do anything.
Oh, shit.
Because he armored it and it was bulletproof.
It was that's Killdozer too, right? That's actually really happened in Colorado.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is with that, the guy actually, the real life guy, when he went around doing that, when he put the armor plating and everything on his bulldozer, it locked him in, and he had a camera on the outside. He was intending on dying. He ended up killing himself inside. But when he did go around, it was every one of the people's businesses that wronged him. And no other lives were taken in it either. He specifically did it on days when no one was there. He just destroyed their businesses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Trash Stash.
Hi, Trash Stash. All
right, so you know what?
2 sentences in.
Commercial. We could turn 5 minutes into like 34 hours. I don't know. Let me find the commercial now. All right, we'll be right back, guys.
Well, gentlemen, perhaps we wouldn't be where we are today if we hadn't said to ourselves, just go, 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 go for it.
Final score for this film, we're going to give it 3 paws out of 4.
Nuestra Señora de la Santa Muerte, Spanish for Our Lady of the Holy Death.
Out now!
Oh, not sex and violence!
Hi, everybody. I'm Akash.
And I'm pre-sexist Diamond.
And we are Roots Bleed Red on Psycho Bunny Death Cult.
Aha!
In fact, humans have a very long history of eating each other.
So lock your doors, turn out your lights, and join us for Cool Radio.
This is Professor Edgar Fluffosaurus from Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat, and when I'm not hosting Monster Chat or knocking down small Japanese cities, I'm watching PBDC TV. Now back to the show.
I was gonna try to make that transition into the one part that's additional in the ad, but you guys will get to see that towards the end. We're going to do a second ad because, we're going to keep going forever. You know that, right? So we're going to have a second merch ad. Yeah, we're doing great. Thank you. I just ran over my... There it is.
I'm super
I ran the cord over. Sherry said, that kind of reminds me of a Chuck Norris movie where he drove his transport truck through this town, knocking all the places down with the big rig. Chuck Norris didn't even need the big rig.
He just shifted it into first. And everything fell down in front of him.
He could. All he has to do is roundhouse kick.
Oh yeah,
and everything.
Chuck Norris doesn't.
Go ahead.
I was going to say Chuck Norris doesn't go hunting. Hunting implies there's failure.
Yeah. Fun fact: Chuck Norris once visited the Virgin Islands. Now we can only properly refer to them as the islands.
The island.
That's my favorite.
What? I'm driving home. I almost hit a damn porcupine. What the hell?
Why would you do that? What did he do to you?
I've seen a video of that guy driving his bulldozer. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, they actually had it. They were. It took. The cops couldn't get past his armor. They couldn't. Weren't they Carl, weren't they about to call the military in?
Yes.
And then they heard the gunshot or something?
It finally overheated, at least in the documentary I watched, because all that armor and concrete that he added to the bulldozer made it so much heavier. I mean, the thing was not moving very fast.
No,
I vaguely remember that. It lasted a couple of hours, didn't it?
Yes, it did. But it finally overheated. You could tell, and came to a halt. And at that point, the police strapped some sort of explosive on the side, but he had already shot himself.
The
But
crazy thing
had he
is,
not, the overpressure from the blast would have killed him anyway.
the crazy thing is, if he would have put armor plating, the armor plating with the concrete in somewhat in front and out away from the radiator and the engine to where it could have and put electric. I hate to say this because I know too much about it. And he put electric fans on it. He could have kept going.
Yeah.
Because that's what that I think it was him running through something and it pierced the radiator, which caused the overheating or something like that. But it was insane.
Yeah, please, children, do not try this out.
Do not do this.
Do not do this.
Yes. Do not buy a Caterpillar D9 bulldozer and spend 6 months welding armor plate onto it.
He had people coming into his shop going, "Hey man, what you doing?" "Oh, I'm just working on a project." This is true.
Well, he didn't lie.
I always wanted a tank. Oh, the King of the Hill episode with the tank. The War Games episode.
Oh, damn it, Bobby. I'll tell you.
All right, let's get on to sentence 2.
I'm sorry, it is sentence 3. Okay, so there we go. A few weeks after he murdered, and I'm going to say her last name wrong again, Linda Salee. Her body was found in the Long Tom River, weighed down by a car park. As the police searched the river, they found another woman weighed down by another car park, which was Karen Sprinkler, and both bodies had been severely mutilated. The police began an investigation into these crimes. After interviewing students at the nearby Oregon State University, they began to hear stories about a Vietnam vet who had called a few young women looking for a date. One of the women told police that he had mentioned the bodies in the river and had made an unsettling suggestion about how he could strangle her too.
This must have been a very rural area where he was dumping these bodies.
The Long Dong River. No, Long Tom.
I think it wasn't too. I'm sorry. We'll get into this here in a second. Where the last body was found was near a Chevy dealership.
I'm sorry.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was rural. I mean, Oregon. If you've seen the area where he's at, Oregon's like you can be in the middle of Portland, and it's like Los Angeles. Los Angeles, LA, Hollywood. You'll have forests and trees and woods in the middle of it. It's not like all city like they try to say it is.
Right.
It is. It's there's trails, everything like that in there. That's the Hillside Stranglers. That's what they were. That's what they were doing. They were just going off the, off the hills and just hills and dumping bodies and stuff like that.
I'm sorry. Okay, there's 2 things in here that I have to bring up. The next year they had to fight the grave digger at Monster Truck Rally.
I don't think Grave Digger would win that.
I have been instructed to insert a Down by the River joke here.
If he had a van, it would be a VW. I'm sorry, it would have to be the VW bus if he had a van.
Yeah.
Then John asks, wasn't Schwarzenegger kicked out of the army because he accidentally drove a tank into a house?
I
actually do not know the answer to that question.
That would have been the Austrian army.
But now I need to look this up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now because I need to know. Internet, yes.
So, yeah, you saw my enthusiasm about Go Ducks. But so, as it turned out, this Vietnam vet was, in fact, Jerry Brudos. The police asked one of the girls to set up another date with him. And then they swooped in to interrogate him. They quickly decided to investigate further. Oh, no shit.
While he was on this date with this chick, he was basically doing the whole O.J. Simpson, if I did it with her.
Oh, God.
Like, seriously, like he was...
Like what Bundy did with helping...
No, he was setting down. It wasn't like helping with the.
No, but I'm saying like how Bundy did it. Like,
yeah.
If I were to do this.
If I were to do this, if I was the Green River Killer, I would do this, and this. But no, it was similar to that where he was basically he gave out a whole bunch of details that the cops did not give out to the public in any way, shape, or form.
Oh snap!
Yeah, and this was his boldness just really just coming through right there, thinking he would never get caught. And the girl was like, there's something up with this. I need to call the cops. And that's what she did.
So here's your newspaper of what we're about to read. And this is in Salem, Oregon. We know some people in that area.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Go Ducks. So that was the Corvallis Gazette Times. So it was talking about him on June 27th, 1969, pleading guilty to the murdering 3 young women, which, by the way, he actually murdered more
It was
than
4.
that.
Mhm.
They say 4. To be honest, it's probably more.
I think it was probably around 4 or 5. I don't think he murdered any more than that. I think he was kind of like Kemper a little bit. He was a little open with it, and he didn't embellish his
A little
story
too
too much.
open.
Well, and you see this in almost every multiple murder case to where they're not going to actually charge them with every crime unless they've got rock solid proof, which is sad to a degree because some families I feel don't get the closure they deserve and things
No.
like that.
Right.
That's when you look at Henry Lee Lucas.
Well, he
At
just
the
admitted to everything.
well, and the
That's why he's the
Texas
confessions killer.
the Texas Rangers at the time were totally happy to unload caseloads onto him, and they never retracted them. He
Yeah.
never killed
He did
any.
not kill that many
He did not
people
kill
at
that many.
all.
I think he killed maybe at the most 3
11.
people. No, I don't even think
No,
it's like.
they actually narrowed it down to it's actually 11.
I
But he
seriously
admitted
think
to
it's lower than that.
some that happened while he was in prison or something,
Uh-huh.
didn't he? I mean,
Yeah.
he was just like, yeah, I did it.
And
Oh, that girl with her socks and the,
and the Rangers, like
Yeah.
again, they were happy to be like, okay, we're marking this one off, marking this one off, marking this one off, and just kept doing it and doing it and doing it until they finally realized we better stop because
Yeah.
he's making
Mhm.
shit up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, the flip side of that is like Wayne Williams in the Atlanta child murders. He was only convicted of 2 of those.
Mhm.
So technically, the parents of all the other victims technically
the
never
closure.
got justice. I mean, everyone
You're
pretty much
right.
knows Wayne Williams did it,
yeah.
but it was never established in court.
Mhm.
So the trash stash says, wait, she wanted to go back out with him? Good Lord, I can't even get a date off Tinder.
No.
So to clarify, no, she did not want to go back out with him.
She was very brave and
She
actually went
was
along with the police and,
Asked by the police to ask him to go back out.
it wasn't that she was going back out with him. The cops were there waiting for him.
Yeah.
She was completely safe and protected.
The jacket's a song of insanity.
That jacket is a sign of insanity.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, can you
The
bring it back up again?
the Herb
picture?
Tarlick jacket that he was wearing.
Oh. That.
There you go.
Jesus.
Yeah. Looks like
Pattern from hell right there.
Yeah, he sliced that off the backseat of a Volkswagen Bug.
Reminds me of the old
I
game
feel
show
like that
host.
police
Shut
officer
up.
behind him is more worried about his jacket than everything else.
Why does he look
at
like
that
Putin
face.
right there? Look at him.
I was just
Oh my
thinking
God,
the
yeah.
same thing.
Rah, rah, Rasputin.
It looks
And we
like
go
Putin
back
and
to Russian
Gacy.
rubles.
It looks like Putin and Gacy.
If Putin
really
and Gacy
does.
had a baby.
That sounds like the title to a new buddy cop show.
In Soviet Union, stiletto heel sniffs you.
He stole the jacket from one of the clowns in his city.
I think so.
Probably. He's like, hey, Gacy. I got a court date coming up.
Put me up with a
Can I
jacket.
borrow that mask?
Can I borrow your jacket?
Gacy, you're real good at face paint, right?
Right? Okay, cool.
I don't think Gacy even started right now by this time.
No.
I think he was still in the weird.
Look, we're not on
Perverted
linear
s-
timeline right now. We are on.
We're on the MCU timeline right now, actually.
Oh yeah. This is Earth. Hold on, let me check. 17.
We are not 626 right now.
No, this is
Okay?
Earth Prime. Oh no, we're in. I said DC.
Vladimir shooting.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a real good one. Daw, let me smell your shoes for Kremlin.
I looked up our Arnold Schwarzenegger debacle. So apparently, in 2008, he located the original tank that he used in the military in Ohio, bought it from the museum, and owns it at his home. And then started this program when he was the governor still, where after school programs and stuff, people that donated to them could come and ride around with him to destroy things on his tank. That's what the story about the house comes in, because they had to level a house and they paid him to do it for the after-school program, so he drove a tank through it. And then still to this day, still keeps that program going, and kids can come to his house like in school groups and ride on the tank and crush cars and buildings.
Would that not be amazing? I would love to do that as an adult.
I just want him to drive to my house in the tank and just be like, come with me if you want to live, and I will get on whatever he's driving.
Be in California if you're having fun doing it.
I am short enough. I can get away with this.
Be in California if you're having fun doing it. They're going to outlaw it. No joke.
I know.
Well, that's like, what is that gun range? I want to say it's up north somewhere where you can get like the zombie apocalypse car and like go around and like shoot like seriously rocket launchers at like house trailers and stuff like that. And I was like, that would be amazing.
There was like a TV show about it for a while where they did that. Like, the whole business.
That is going to be our Psycho Bunny Death Cult team bonding.
Going to Vegas, the Vegas gun range.
Yes, it would be therapeutic. You know, I bet you we could write that off. I bet that would be a write-off.
I think we could also time of ever shooting a gun.
We would have to get the premium. I was about to say
Can we ask them if we could put our own like certain faces we want on there?
Well, no, I'm just saying we have to get the premium. The premium edition. What is it called when you go to?
I don't know.
The more expensive
premium package.
The premium package. There you go. Because otherwise we're gonna be loading our own mags, and that is a pain in the ass.
I can do it.
They load your mags for you if you pay extra.
Hey.
Well, I think we should pay extra and let Raz shoot the saw.
I've never shot a gun before in my life. I've cleaned guns. I've broken them down, reassembled them. I've loaded guns. I've loaded mags, but I've never actually shot one. Never.
So you need to come down here to the south. We'd love to shoot guns.
A lot of my family's from the south.
This is where we bring in the Swedish Carl.
This
is where we bring the Swedish Carl with us.
Swedish Carl has he knows my pain when it comes to loading mags.
That man actually was in a firefight in Bosnia.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. It was awesome. Like hearing about it. I mean, I don't know if it was awesome being there.
Probably the war was not awesome.
He was in a firefight in Bosnia. It was awesome. I mean, well, everything that he was involved in was not awesome.
Oh, we could see my wife in the background there for a minute, but like when her head popped up, it was right underneath the advisory warning over there.
See, and I'm just still seeing like the Gacy clown there. He is like creepily leering at Raz.
And I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm good.
Have you bought my
Makes me feel
popcorn?
like I matter, you know, like somebody loves me. Like, hold on. It's that way. I forget which way I got a point. It's that way.
Right there you go.
All right. So after the police obtained a search warrant for Brudos' home, they found evidence that proved beyond a doubt that he was their man. There was nylon rope, photographs of the dead women, and most horrifyingly of all, the trophies.
The trophies was a big thing. One of the things that really linked him to the murders was he took I think he set a mirror up underneath one of the ones that were hanging up in the garage. Well, he didn't get the angle right, or he didn't care, and in the picture is him reflecting off the mirror while it's looking up at her. Because
dumbass.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's fucked up because he was trying to do the whole upskirt shot of a dead body.
Soap objects.
Yeah.
Criminals got to be caught like doing like stupid shit like that. Like seriously, like if you're gonna do something, like maybe make sure you don't get caught. Like we had a stolen car dropped off at our haunt the other day, like out in the parking lot, and this lady comes like freaking out, running in the building, thinking like somebody there stole. We're like, man, we have cameras, and we saw when that car pulled up and someone just ditched out into the woods. So the cops show up, they get inside the car. The dude left his own ID in the cup holder. The guy that stole the car left his ID in the cup holder.
I think it was Kemper or Bundy who said it.
That wasn't Kemper.
No, when it came to, I'm not sure which one. I'm actually thinking it's Bundy who said this. That the first time you do it, you're nervous and you have everything in your mind. You're doing everything right. The 20th time you're doing it, it's so easy.
It's like breathing.
It's like breathing, and you're forgetting things left and right.
Yeah,
You know,
no, that's the
I mean,
dumbest
Kimber
criminal.
got, I think on his 5th kill, he got locked out of his car. I mean,
Oh yeah, and he talked the girl into opening the door.
She had the gun in her hand,
and it was facing him.
Yeah, and he talked it out of her hand, and got back in, and that was the end of her.
You know, the crazy part was he did not think that he was smooth with the ladies at all.
He wasn't smooth with the ladies. He was charismatic with people. I mean, look how much he's charmed me.
He knew how to
and I've never met him.
He didn't realize though that for that aspect of himself for a while.
I mean, you even said it yourself. To quote you, I would love to meet Kimber.
I would. I know what he's done, but
and I said no, you wouldn't.
I would love to actually sit down with him, but I would have to be very careful about what I said because if he believes that I'm talking down to him at all, then he could easily snap.
And right there is proof of how charming he didn't know how to talk to girls, but just how charming he was, how charming these people are, and how relaxed they get when they do things, and they just let things go.
People love Bundy.
Well, but you see that in a lot of like cults and stuff like that too. I mean, anybody that can talk people into, hey, let me marry your wives, and in the meantime, can you cut off your wee-wees?
Right.
And people are like, yeah, that's the best idea I've ever heard.
Oh, the Children of God cult was
I was
the
going to
worst.
say Rocktario.
Rocktario, oh
yeah.
my God.
I mean, was it America Online, AOL? I still have an AOL account. I'm not ashamed. But back when AOL actually advertised, you could send prisoners emails because they did this prison system, and one of them was that you could actually send emails back and forth with Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson. So he was actually one of the people they would let you email, and I know a bunch of people. I did it because I assumed it was like a gimmick or it wasn't even real. Turned out it was completely real because every time you got a message, an email system, the email actually came from the prison. And there was all this jargon at the top about how you couldn't like take screenshots of it because screenshots were kind of just becoming a thing around then, and that you weren't allowed to distribute the emails because it was technically illegal to because it was a prison document or it was nuts, man. Like it was intense.
Wow. One of our ex-members, I know you Akan, Natalie know or Mother Gilmore know who we're talking about is that they're trying to contact BTK and then I looked into it when I heard that person was trying to do that. I was like, you could actually do that. I was like, wow.
There's people that get Ted Bundy's teeth marks tattooed on them.
Oh, it's crazy. It's insane. I mean, look at Richard Ramirez, man. I mean, like, hey, he's married. Ugh. The chick actually went and visited him. He would just vigorously just pleasure himself in front of her. No, all the time. He just wouldn't stop masturbating in front of him. And like, it finally got to the point where she was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I was like, yeah, well, no shit. You're trying to like marry a serial killer and everything like that. I actually did.
What do you expect? Things are not going to be normal.
Yep.
I mean, there's definitely people out there that totally idolize that. Look at Starkweather. I mean, it wasn't as much of a sexual thing, but you know, Fugate, like she totally idolized him even while it was going on, and like they were together. And that was the whole situation in Nebraska. That was the whole situation.
Trash stash. They should make You've Got Mail too. Charlie in cyberspace.
You should. I would watch that.
Just
I'll play Charlie. I volunteer.
You're all. I always thought they should have had David Letterman interview Manson. It would have been funny.
I'm gonna get
Manson was Manson.
It would have been interesting, that's for sure.
I'm gonna get a lot of shit on this one, but I don't believe that Manson was a serial killer. I don't think.
Neither do I.
Oh, he was not a serial killer one, but he never committed a murder. Besides,
no, he committed a murder, but he
no,
was
there
not
was
a serial killer.
There was stuff in when he was in juvie, but they couldn't pin on him.
Yeah,
but after the fact, he never killed anybody after that.
Yep.
The dude just wanted LSD and sex. That's all he wanted. Tex was the serial killer.
Tex was
I was gonna say a lot of that came from Tex.
Yeah.
Manson was a product of his it was all nature. When he was in juvie, he learned I have to be nuts. I have to be the biggest man here, even because he was very tiny. And,
he's smaller than me.
And he knew he had to do all that. So and then
he had to develop Napoleon syndrome.
Otherwise, he was going to die there. And then he got out.
But he had like a really fucked up childhood because didn't his mother like trade him for a beer or some shit?
Yeah. His mother traded him for a beer. His name was No Man Madison or something.
His name was No Name.
No Name Madison. There you go. Everything like that. It's his mother, again, like Brudos. His mother dressed him up as a girl, everything like that, and really screwed him up. But when he got out, he never. He just wanted LSD and to live his life out.
And
with
girls.
Some LSD
Yeah.
and bitches.
I was about to say something
Yep.
really derogatory, basically, but that's what he wanted. That's what he said.
He just
Yep.
wanted to play bad folk music and get some pussy.
His folk music was actually pretty good. He,
Even
Okay, some
though
of it
I've
was
got
pretty
one,
good.
you can get his albums off Internet Archive, and one of the songs is actually really good.
he's yeah.
Mine, Manson's whole story started right here in Ohio.
Mhm.
Yep.
Ohio, it all goes back to Ohio.
And it
telling
ended
you.
right here. It
It-
ended right here in Bakersfield.
2 hours away
It
from
did.
here.
Yep.
Actually, no.
It
Yeah, he
ended
died.
5 minutes away.
I'm
from
sorry.
here.
He died. I was thinking when he was. They arrested him out at Spawn Ranch. He
started-
died here, 2 blocks or about
5
5
minutes
miles
away.
away from us right now.
Dude, it was only
Wow.
about 45, 50 minutes away where he very first started here in Ohio, like from where I live.
Wow.
Yeah,
Manson
yeah.
does have
His-
albums, John.
And his brother owns a
Yes.
home in Yellow Springs, Ohio, which is only about 15, 20 minutes where I'm from.
Yeah.
He Manson wrote a lot of music for the Beach Boys.
He actually did.
I don't think I knew that.
And
Yeah,
That's
he
who he was
wanted to
written
be
music
for. I
in
knew
the
a
Beach
lot, but I
Boys,
didn't
but
know
I
that.
think he got really creeper with them, and they were kind of like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Whoa.
scared Brian.
they
was it?
screwed him over, and he's a product of the system. And you, I can't think the druggy one, not the other man, not the other Beach Boys, but it was the bad one. He screwed him over, and then he got a knife in his face and got to see Crazy Charlie.
Right.
I have a list.
You
by
can't
the
play
way.
that.
I'm not gonna play it. I have a list of some of the songs.
We found the songs.
Stuff like True Love You Will Find, Dream Train, My Oklahoma, Angel Love, I'm Doing Fine, Stars, Friends, In Your Music Mind. Like these don't sound like 2 pairs of shoes. I wonder if that was about Brudos.
2 pairs of shoes. I stole your luster, Brudos.
Look at Your Game Girl. Cease
Arkansas.
to Exist, Arkansas. Garbage Dump.
Cease to Exist, if I'm not
Dude, that's
mistaken, is the
2
one
Brudos
that's
things
actually
right
not
there.
bad.
Can we get an epic rap battles in history between Brudos and Manson? Because I feel like that might be.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
Wasn't-
Oh, and then Our God is ATWA, which by the way, System of a Down does a song ATWA.
What is ATWA again?
Air. Oh God, what was it? I can't remember.
It's fine. We need to get
Shit.
on with Brudos. So
Now I need. Hold on. I need.
never mind. We're gonna figure out what this is.
I can't remember what it meant. Oh, air, trees, water, animals.
Okay, that's some hippie shit right there. That's
Yeah.
lame.
Yep.
That's what ATWA was. So that was Manson's thing. Was ATWA.
Ecological belief.
Oh,
Yes.
Sherry says Brian Wilson.
Brian
that-
Wilson.
yeah, Brian
Yes,
Wilson was-
yes,
yes.
that was him. I got banned off Spaghetti Incident. What?
Spaghetti
the
Incident.
song they did,
Guns
yeah.
N' Roses.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses. Wait,
Oh,
that's a.
oh
Typo
Guns N'
Demon.
Roses cover. Okay.
Oh, okay.
They covered Look at Your Game.
Oh, okay.
I was so confused, but I did it backwards. So, all right, it got banned. I was like, how did you get banned off?
Pennywise got banned. What's happening?
Yes. So at some point during the interrogation, or at least during a interrogation, Brudos confessed to all 4 murders, as well as another attempted kidnapping and earlier assaults. Brudos was found guilty of the murders of Sprinkler, Whitney, and Sully, and was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences. He escaped conviction for Slosson's murder only because her body was never found. And Brudo's wife, which I, by the way, learned her name was Ralphine.
Ralphie?
Ralphine Fitzler.
Ralphine.
Ralphine Macchio. Oh, sorry.
Ralphine Macho.
Yeah. Ralphine.
You're
She
the best.
divorced him after
You're the best.
She divorced him after their arrest, as she should have. She also changed her name and her children's names and moved away to an undisclosed location. Also, Darcy was charged with aiding and abetting her husband in his crimes. What?
Who's well? Okay, so
I think that was
Ralphine.
a name change, maybe. I'm gonna guess.
Oh, you're right.
I don't know
Yeah.
for sure, but I'm gonna guess.
I'm
It-
so confused. Why
it's-
does it say that?
No, because it's yeah,
Maybe that was his pet name for her or her middle name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Or
see
She-
a thing that says Ralphine for her
Ralphine
name.
Darcy or some or
But then earlier I saw when she was, it said Darcy. So yeah.
There
His
are
maiden
okay.
name?
There is 2 names for her, and obviously because she did change her name, so they're probably going by both.
But they should not have given out her second name.
Well, they did.
Mm-mm.
She's probably no longer with us. That's why.
So although Darcy was charged with aiding and abetting her husband in the crimes, she was never convicted of murdering any of the victims. And so that's something interesting, by the way, for me, that she was convicted of,
Well, she was charged.
or she was never convicted of murdering any of the victims. She was charged with aiding and abetting.
Because
But BTK's wife.
BTK's wife never even got.
I was just thinking the same thing. Shit,
Yeah.
she wasn't even brought into it.
No,
Yeah.
they were like, oh, he was like, oh, she knew nothing.
Well, because they
How-
they literally with her, they're like, no, we're not. We're going to look into this because this stuff. He just said this stuff went on for years. Not the murders. The murders happened over the span of what was it, 18 months?
18
Or-
months. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but everything else was going on while they were married for years and years. So the cops were really smart enough once they got him to go, okay, we need to check into her first and actually, you know what?
Yeah, but this is like, how were they smart?
Well, there could have been some sort of extenuating evidence that we're not privy to that could have led them in that direction.
It could have been something as simple as like with BTK happened in Kansas, or was it Kansas? Yeah. And maybe his wife's name wasn't on the property at all. And whereas this person's property, her name was all over the property too. So even though like he's like, you can't go in there, it's like it's her property. She could have went in there all she wanted to.
Yeah, maybe. So let's see here. Jerry Brudos died in 2006 in prison, having served only 37 years of his sentence.
Fun fact about Jerry Brudos, he was at that time one of the people who served the longest. He was alive the longest in prison.
Well,
especially in Oregon State.
So after his death, he was actually largely forgotten, especially because it was around a time that there were a lot more prolific serial killers that emerged shortly after even his trial.
Well, yeah, you had
Hey, Shelby.
Hey, Shelby, how you doing? You had directly after him, you had Gacy. Then you had directly after Gacy, Dean Corll. Then after Dean Corll, you had Kemper. Then Bundy.
Then Hillside Stranglers.
You had the age of the serial killer. Everything happening right, starting with Brudos, basically.
Killer, the original, the Night Stalker.
The original Night Stalker, who was only caught a few years ago, and
yeah, and he was like 74. No, he was 72, and when he was caught, he's currently 76.
Yep,
and he was just as much an ass now than I'm sure he was then.
He was a cop,
and he was a cop. Too. Yeah,
in Sacramento. That's how.
When he had a wheelchair or some shit, a walker or something, and like really hammed it up.
Samuel Little was in a wheelchair, but he couldn't even. By the time he was,
yeah, but she's talking about D'Angelo.
Oh, you're right. Okay,
yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Now, Mother of the Mort.
So let's see. He died after 37 years. He was largely forgotten. But because of that show Mindhunter, his crimes were brought back into light to some people in 2017. And some of the viewers who had no clue who the hell he was found out about the horrific things that he did. And so his victims were brought back into the light, which is actually good in a sense. It's not good that he became famous again, but what there's like an up and a down to a serial killer being made famous again, because you start looking into them and you learn their victims' names, and those are the names that matter.
Billy the Kid said it best.
Well, and it gives you good content to make fun of the serial killer too, because they deserve to be made fun of. I'm sorry, they do.
Absolutely,
they absolutely do.
Absolutely. So he'll always be known as the Shoe Fetish Slayer. which is
something he tried to hide, and it all came out.
he's just over there all.
Ugh.
It all came out just like at Judas Priest.
What?
Nothing.
Don't you have something to play right now?
You know, just why?
Man, would you?
The bodies of chaos are coming for you. The bodies of chaos are coming for you.
Good morning.
Oh shit!
Before I so
Hey, I did good on that.
rudely interrupted by the
Buy my merch!
merch.
Buy now! Buy now! Okay, so is Steve the one typing while we have Carl talking?
No, that's me. Steve and Fancy are watching a triple feature of the Kissing Booth movies on Netflix right now. So
you know, yes and no sharing. So serial killers are dumb because they always end up getting caught in the end by the good guys.
except the ones that don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
At any given time, there are
roughly
30 serial killers within the United States that are active.
You have to understand
Mhm.
too when we talk about these people, when they say they have a low IQ, like the Ridgway,
Yeah.
he had a very low IQ, but
86.
the only way I can say this, he had a master's in murdering and he had a master's in murdering sex workers.
Well,
He knew exactly what to do and how to get them, and he went on from the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s until about 2003.
Right.
They know what they're doing. They know their craft really well, and it's a terrible thing for me to say it that way, but that's basically what it is.
we're doing good.
So,
But then you have like Alcala, who had like a 167 IQ, who did something stupid like go on the dating game while he was on a spree.
was it stupid or was it just his ego?
That's
Because
narcissism right there
That
for
was
you.
his ego.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely ego. But the person that won the
she
date
refused.
got freaked out by him after talking to him backstage, and they never went on the date.
Going back and watching that, every time I've gone back and just looked at it, he looks like a shark looking at his prey. No joke. He's
It's
just the entire
creepy.
time.
He was going to kill her.
But you have to ask yourself, is that because we know what he was? Because at the time, people didn't know what he was. They just thought it was funny,
Mhm.
So
Well, and then you have some, such as the Golden Gate was the Golden Gate Killer,
Golden
State Killer, that had they had intelligence enough because they worked within the police force or some sort of forensic to know how to get away with this kind of stuff.
He was a detective in the Sacramento PD,
Yeah.
and he was on that task force.
You guys really need to look up Mr. Cruel. It happened down in Australia, but oh my God, talking about nightmarish.
Dude, that was nuts.
That man was bad.
One of the things I want to get you guys back in on is the Snowtown killings in Australia. That's a brutal one to actually look up. And
They have some really brutal ones down there, and a lot of them are unsolved.
Going on this, and I don't know why, not to go off on like the second minute or anything like that, but all the countries that have tried or have abolished their Second Amendment rights, or they abolished their gun rights and stuff like that, they have some of the most brutal serial killers, brutal murders happening. Like Canada, look at Canada right now. Look at England and stuff like that. You have, and it's all done with knives and stuff like that. Like they just, it's their rapes, their attack, knife attacks, all that stuff is just through the roof.
Hammers are used a lot.
Yes.
So we're talking about serial killers and looking at their eyes, right? I'm talking about Alcala. There's a young picture of Alcala.
Yeah, I think that's when he was first arrested, wasn't it?
That is him in high school.
Not quite Charles Manson-y yet, but they're creepy.
Yeah. Those are pretty dark, shark eyes.
Wow, and this guy was so smart that when he first got arrested, or almost got arrested, or whatever it was for the girl that he abducted, and the cop came in on it, he literally just moved to New York and changed his name and was a professor at NYU for 3 years.
Burger.
Yeah, well, back then you didn't have to show proof. You just, hey, I'm so and so, and that's pretty much it.
Exactly.
Now let's look at Geen.
Geen was not all there. He was another tragic one.
He doesn't have the same kind of eyes. I'm sorry.
Once Geen was institutionalized, he loved it and he thrived when they actually started taking care of him.
Yeah, his story's sad, actually.
Yeah, very sad. Very, very sad.
Toolbox Killer.
One of the most messed up ones right there.
Oh, God.
Had audio of his murders and stuff like that. Of his rapes and murders.
When you talk about Australia, I think about Catherine Knight. I don't know if you remember her.
Catherine, the cannibal.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't before that. About her. Yeah.
We talked about her. And technically, she wasn't a cannibal.
She didn't eat any of them.
She cooked because she was a butcher by trade.
Yeah, technically, her children became cannibals.
Well, actually,
they never ate.
She had served them food, which was their dad, but they never ate it.
They never showed up.
I wasn't sure if they ever ate it or not. That's the one.
No, they never showed up. What she did was it wasn't her children, it was her stepchildren.
Yeah.
And she set places for every one of them because what happened prior to a few weeks prior to this happening, her killing her husband, her stepdaughter basically beat her ass and kicked her out of the house. And she was like, okay, all right, I'm going to be quiet and walk away. And then she came back and murdered him and then set up the place for every one of his kids.
Damn.
Sat there and cooked him for hours. It defatted the everything like that. It's brutal.
Why does that remind me of Shakespeare's Titus?
Ice.
Where he made the meat pie of that lady's son, the Queen of the Goths.
Of course, my brain right now just went to meat sandwich. Okay, so I'm gonna delete a couple and show a couple more because why the heck not, right?
So we're almost done.
Here we go. Dahmer in high school.
There's some compassion there a little bit.
Well, his was sort of a psychologically tragic case too, though. I mean, could you imagine if you knew what you were doing was absolutely wrong and it turned your stomach, but you couldn't stop?
Exactly.
Oh, and then of course.
I mean, I'm not glorifying him. I'm just saying that's awful.
Kevorkian.
I think Kevorkian should not be in here with this.
You know, actually,
he was not a murderer.
No. Remember,
I know he did murder one.
Why does his head look like it's like photoshopped on top of Mr. Rogers' body?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I just realized that's a suicide machine right there.
That is his suicide machine. Yes.
Oh wow.
So here's the thing. Remember, we were like, "Hey, we don't exactly disagree with Kevorkian on certain aspects of things." Wow, we're really blurry.
There you go.
And then we got into it a little bit more, and we were like, "Oh."
Well, the one thing that I did not agree with him on is that he should have taken the advice of everyone who was around him, saying, "Look, I know this person right now is suffering, but you cannot." He could not perform the suicide.
Do you remember when he did this to people that weren't terminal? He was doing it to people who were not terminal, and that's what we found out.
Yep.
It wasn't all that they were. Some of them were not terminal.
Did we skip
and
that?
That's where. No, we did not skip it. That is where we both started going, "Oh shit."
Oh.
There now we get it, because assisted suicide for us isn't, when we were talking about it, if the person is legitimately terminal, and they want to go out on their own terms, and there's a means to be able to do it, I understand it.
Yeah.
But
it's sad to think about it that way, but it
is sad. It is very sad. I know somebody who had a family member that's done it, and they have told me the experience. And but at the same time, they also agree that it was what they wanted.
Yeah.
And so there's an aspect of it that can be agreed with, but then some of the things that Kevorkian did were so reprehensible that you can't get on his side. You just can't. And some of the things you wanted to, really. Here you go.
Gacy. Dun dun dun.
His eyes.
Buy my popcorn.
Hey, y'all. That's all I can say is hey.
Here you go. Look at that unibrow.
Say that.
And all these ladies still go, oh my God, he was so dreamy.
Flock of blackbirds going on there.
Yeah.
He was rugged when they
that is
during
not
his
rugged.
no during his time in Colorado and Utah. He was a rugged looking man, and that's the 70s. That's what they liked.
Here you go.
From behind, I could have been one of Bundy's victims because I part my hair down to center when it's down.
He likes brunettes, though, so you're good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Kenneth Bianchi, one of the Hillside Stranglers.
Douchebag jock.
I thought
right
that
there,
was like a young picture of Norm Macdonald for a second.
Yeah.
He looks a little bit like Norm Macdonald.
But so this gentleman right here was an employee of my grandfather's.
Was that that wasn't the chocolate
at the time?
guy,
No,
was
no,
it?
no.
Okay.
No, the CEO for North American Title Company.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Which is by now it's right next to one of the biggest pot collectives in the United States in Santa Monica. Is this him? No, not Santa Monica. What's it called again?
Santa Ana.
Santa Ana. There you go.
But no, not the same. Well, yeah, actually, North American Title Company is right there, isn't it?
It's right.
It's right where
it's right there, right off the 57.
That one, where the printing company is.
Yep.
Yeah. He was like a security guard.
You go into this
I mean, it
place-
wasn't somebody that my grandfather knew.
You go into this people's collective at nighttime. I'm sorry not to just squirrel off on this, but you go in there at nighttime and like they have like this route going up through the whole building, like art and all this other stuff, but it's all neon lights all around it, and it's just all freaking. It's very awesome. If you could ever make it there, if you're into the devil's lettuce, the electric lettuce, it's a place to go visit.
Okay, so here we go. Wow, that is really scary because we have like 11 comments we haven't got yet.
Yeah.
So, Trash Stash, did you ever hear the serial killer that called Howard Stern? Yes.
We did hear that.
I've listened to it several times trying to make heads or tails of it. I have some guesses if it's a real serial killer of who it could be.
I think if it is, it's not. I don't know. I don't think it is a serial killer. I think it was something that Howard Stern. I think it was a goof.
Yeah. I'm actually a big fan of Howard Stern. Or used to be. I haven't really listened for a long time, but he's one of the reasons I got into broadcasting when I was younger. And he does a lot of things like that, like really inappropriate, really messed up things, and he'll pass them off and let you believe what you want to believe, and that's kind of comedy.
So
it's hard to
this day, Howard Stern will not admit
say that they gave that over to the FBI.
They really did. He really did, and like to this day, Howard Stern will not admit whether it's real or not. He just keeps saying we passed it off.
Yep.
So, you guys need to watch the TV show the Crimes That Shocked Australia and the Crimes That Shocked England. They're on BBC Network right now. Yeah, I've started watching a few of those.
And that's how you know the Queen is not giving up on Canada or Australia, is because BBC is very prominent there. I'm just kidding.
So John says you guys study these a lot. Does it ever creep you out?
No.
Yeah, Joachim Kroll. Joachim Kroll.
Jesus Christ.
Joachim Kroll got to me, but that was because the way that he was caught was because, so for the most part, he hadn't been hunting near where he lived. And again, this is another one that was not intelligent whatsoever. The reason he didn't get caught, and 6 people went down for several of his crimes. 6 other people went
one
down
of
for
them,
several of
when
his
he was
crimes.
released, he committed suicide. The girl he killed, who they blamed on her boyfriend,
He committed suicide.
he committed suicide months, roughly a year later, because
3 months.
the people would not stop hounding him, even though he was proven not to have done it.
One committed suicide in prison. One committed suicide 3 months later, which was that boyfriend. But Joachim Kroll, the reason why this one gave me the heebies was he took a 4-year-old girl from next door. And
okay. I don't mean to interrupt you guys, but was he the one that was married to? They literally, when he was like 14 years old, they married him to a 13-year-old girl's corpse so that she could be married before they buried her.
No,
he was the one, not to get real graphic here, but had
he was actually a cow fucker.
Well, that, and he had also the reason, one of the things that was actually thrown off the authorities. He was one of the things that was thrown off the authorities is because he, God, there's another way to say this. He shot so much semen that they thought it was multiple men raping and murdering these people.
I remember y'all talking about this guy.
Yeah.
And so the reason why this one creeped me out the most, I should say, is that little girl that he kidnapped and murdered. When the cops got there, the reason why the cops got there was because he walked out of the communal bathroom and he basically like made almost a joke about it. It was like, I spilled my guts in there.
He cut her body up and was trying to flush it down the toilet.
He had flushed her guts down the toilet and it clogged up the communal bathroom.
Yeah.
And he made a joke on the way out about spilling his guts.
Damn.
You know,
and when they got into his apartment, he had basically done meal prep with her body. In the fridge were some steaks, in a pot on the stove was a boiling soup. Some of her butchered body was in there.
Very fish-like.
Yeah,
very Albert Fish.
That's why he's the one. When you ask if somebody creeped me out, Joachim Kroll.
It's not so much that they creep me out. For me, researching this stuff is cathartic. You know, it's
knowing that I'm not crazy.
Yeah. Oh, for me,
you have to somewhat separate yourself from it in a certain way.
Researching this. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Obviously, I read about a lot of stuff like this, not just like supernatural monster horror and stuff, but like people just like this. So, you know, I have to get in mindsets and like trying to think about the psychology when I write about things like these. And there are times, dude, when I'm like, I gotta write this. And it's a project I want to write, but I'll write it and I feel weird about it.
It's really disturbing.
Because I wrote one that to this day no one will ever see the light of day of because it went way too far, and I save it just in case one day. But like it's a piece of writing I'm not proud of, but it's oddly some of my best writing. And
well, that's like Stephen King right there with Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
How he just threw it in a drawer, and his wife pulled it out and was like, "Hey, this is good."
I was thinking more along the lines of it when he later on came out with when the movie came out and said, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have had that part in there.
Yeah, so that's the one that should have probably stopped him a little bit. But
you know, I actually do.
Cemetery.
I'm not going to say I get why. I mean, I'm not going to say I agree with why he put it in there or agree with it, but I do get because it's the weird logic of a kid writing and stuff like that. Like in his head,
I've had to talk about this specific scene in the book like a million times in literature classes. Like I cannot tell you how many times. And my conclusion is that if you read it in the context it's written, as Stephen King is not the one writing this, it's actually Bill writing this, the author of the book, and you kind of get led to believe that that's the case. He's remembering this childhood memory. So from that standpoint, this is something that like biographically happened to this character, right? So because it happened to him, it did have a place in the story because it explained how children think that they have to be connected, and she wanted to do this one taboo thing in the world that would forever unite them for an eternity.
And it was the only
thing she could think of.
It was also the only thing she knew because of what her father was doing to her.
Exactly. So in actual context, it makes sense. Any conversation about it out of context makes no sense.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So Willie Picton. Yes, Willie Picton, the pig farmer.
Willie Picton might be getting out in a couple of years too. There is a chance.
3 years.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, he's on good behavior, and I think it's life, but I think Canada I know he's in life term, but I think Canada his probation starts in 20 year at the 20-year mark. So
See,
And
I'm
yes.
sorry,
Good behavior look
but when it comes to serial killers, there should be that time served for good behavior should not even play a
Shouldn't
part.
even.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
He
sorry,
didn't
it
kill
shouldn't.
people for the last 3 years. That's good behavior. Is that what good behavior is?
exactly.
I'm not with you on that
It
one.
has no bearing that he's been locked in a cell for the last 3 years and he couldn't get
Right.
anybody.
Right.
Yes. So yes, she was doing the Sweeney Todd thing, turning him into mincemeat.
Turning them into pies.
Oh my goodness, why does he look like Mr. Rogers?
Which one looked like Mr. Rogers?
Here I am
Kevorkian.
eating the fish.
Oh.
Dahmer's school pick looks like Charlie from Willy Wonka.
He technically was. Willy
It
Wonka.
does kind of.
Gacy, King of the Creeps. Yep.
Yep.
It's a beautiful day with my needles here. A beautiful day with my needles here.
Won't you be my victim?
Ron Burgundy.
He mildly looks like a sports news anchor with the mustache and the jacket. Ron Burgundy. That's the vibe I'm
Mr.
getting.
Burgundy, you have an incredibly large boner right now. Oh my god.
And then he'll just sing Afternoon Delight.
Win in a row.
Well, I'm telling you, if there is a serial killer that winds up looking like Lady Elaine, I'm out.
Wait, who's Lady Elaine again? Remind me.
Lady Elaine was terrifying to children all over the world. Look up Lady Elaine.
Let's see this real fast. Oh
Mr.
my
Rock-
god.
yeah.
That looks like Rosemary, actually.
So, have you ever noticed Charles Schultz, animator of Charlie Brown, looks exactly like the Zodiac police sketch?
Well,
Plus,
I
he
hadn't,
lived
but
in
I
the
do now.
same area as the Zodiac and was ex-military.
No.
Well, wasn't just about everyone of that generation ex-military.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
This is true.
Everyone was
This is
drafted.
true.
Everyone was
mean-
drafted.
Back from
We
Vietnam.
When we did the Zodiac, and we brought up the Ted Cruz picture.
Yeah. Okay. That looked. We gotta put the disclaimer out. Look, Ted
We're
Cruz.
like, Ted Cruz, no, I'm sorry. We're playing.
But Ted Cruz was born later on.
He
There
was
was no way
born
he
in
could have been. But
1970.
look, man.
But
and
there's
I
a
think even
whole group of people that was doing the Ted Cruz as a Zodiac killer.
I want to say Ted Cruz was even a good sport about it too.
He laughed.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I
He's
would-
made jokes about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
because
my
how
God.
could he possibly? He wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, I mean,
So
exactly. I mean, the murders literally happened before he was born.
yeah, so there's
Yeah.
literally no way it could happen, but it's pretty damn funny.
I remember like an old there for a while, like in like late 80s and like all the way through mid 90s, there was all those like TV special movies that were about all the serial killers. Like one about Dahmer is still to this day to be like the best one I've ever seen about Dahmer. With the Ted Bundy one, it insinuated that the real reason he got caught was because he was a kleptomaniac. And there's a scene in this movie where he's driving a convertible down the street, looks over, stops, gets out, and grabs a potted plant, sticks it in the back of his car, and drives off with it. A potted plant. Like in the middle of like a plaza with people everywhere, he grabs a potted, the whole pot and everything, like a big one. Like you see him struggling to lift it, put it in his
Is that
car.
What would have been weird is stealing the plant and not the pot.
Right. He's thinking that, as long as he takes the pot too, it's cool. But then he's putting it in the back of a convertible. And
Wait,
driving
is that
off
why
with it.
he got caught?
No, the movie was insinuating that one of the reasons he got caught was because of his kleptomania, and he's a known kleptomaniac. And he would really steal random things like this. I don't know that he ever actually stole a potted plant, but he did in that movie.
I remember. I think
that's what I
in real life
remember.
he got pulled over, and they're like, "This isn't your car. You're Ted Bundy."
On the
He's so
neighborhood
God,
app yesterday, somebody has video, or the Ring neighborhood app.
Oh yeah.
Someone has video of someone stealing their gigantic potted plant from their front yard.
Buddy, he's come back and
And they were like, they seriously were like, dude. No, and then the best part was they went into the parking lot over by our house because it was down the street, and somebody was selling it for like $35 under one of the tents. Like one of the homeless people. It was one of the homeless people over here. They were selling it
I've
for
heard of
35
people
bucks.
doing that to cemetery flowers, which is awful.
Yeah, that's
Terrible.
too here. But the funny part is, she's all, I got it for $15 at Lowe's, guys.
Markup, you know, time and effort put in, manpower apparently.
All right, so I got one more serial killer to look at.
Okay.
One more.
It's not the douche canoe, is it?
No.
Well, it's one of them.
Yeah, one of them.
Skimper. It's the co-ed hugger.
It's the co-ed. I have to get my line out here while I'm talking about these murders.
But you know, the one thing I've got to say about Kemper, and again, this is not glorifying, this is more on like a psychological aspect. He did help the psychiatric, you know, like community understand why serial killers do certain things.
He's the whole reason for serial killer profiling right there. He started all that. I mean, if you watch Mindhunter, obviously, like all of us have, but that really happened. They're like, you need to talk to someone. This guy does not shut up. Go talk to him right now. And that's where it all started with the FBI going, okay, we need to look for this, this, and this, these traits. I want to say even, what is it, the triad? It's not stuff that he did, but it all came after all that.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is too funny. I've tried to compare the Charlie Brown comic letters to the Zodiac letters. Letters look kind of similar. So creepy.
It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
And you know what? When you try to read the Zodiac letters, it sounds like wah 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 wah.
The pumpkin comment just killed me, dude, because there's a famous story on the No Sleep subreddit about a guy that has relations with pumpkins, and it's an actual horror story you can read on there. A pumpkin, effer. And like as soon as you said that, in relation to who you were talking about.
Just trick-or-treating. You're like, you know what? I'm a 40-year-old man. I'm going to go out trick-or-treating for one last time. And you just walk up and you hear that weird suction sound. You're like, I'm leaving. Fuck this.
This is what's coming for you if you mess with pumpkins on Halloween. That is what's coming for you.
Texas in the background trying to figure out the beers he wants.
Well, you know there's rules of Halloween, and that's why Sam comes after you, is if you break them.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Rule number 1, don't be a dick, which is pretty much the rule in every movie ever.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Basically. Always give out candy. Do not blow out your jack-o'-lantern before midnight.
I was thinking something else.
Do not jack off at a jack-o'-lantern.
Maybe he blesses you if you do that. Maybe that's where everybody is doing it wrong.
You know, that's one thing that's actually got me with that movie is like, isn't the trick also part of Halloween? So,
well, no, he's fine with tricks,
but you're not allowed.
In fact, he plays tricks,
pumpkin smash and all that stuff,
but they're sacred.
Yeah, that's like smashing like
pumpkins are sacred.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
When they were all done and rotten, like they were gone, you know, we'd like smash it and clean it up just because.
I leave mine for a while.
No, we leave ours.
I let mine get
January
the
13th is when I take my pumpkins down.
See, and we have
still a pumpkin out there.
we have a thing to where we have to keep our pumpkin lit all night until the next day.
Yes. And that's part of the rules.
Yep.
I haven't been able to like do a pumpkin or like trick or treat in like years now because the place I live in it's an apartment and there's just no way. And it's not in a good neighborhood, so like there's a good chance that even if we could, probably a bad idea.
Our neighborhood is not the best neighborhood. It's because we're right by a Walmart supercenter. Yeah, and there's a lot of crime circles over there.
That's what I mean.
But we get a lot of trick or treaters every single year, like a lot.
And last year was good.
Yeah, every year it's good. Every single year. And then like the rich neighborhoods over here, like they get barely any of them.
But they give out full candy. Hey, I will dress up as a dinosaur and trick or treat, damn it.
We open our haunt up for that, like, because there's not a lot of safe places, like, even for trunk or treating around here. So we actually open up our whole haunt for Beggars Night, or like we do it.
Nice.
300 to 500 kids, no joke. Last year, like, there was somewhere between 3 and 5 is all the boss tells me. But I'm gonna guess there was probably closer to 3 than there was 5. But like tons of kids, and we do it with the lights on. We show them how things work when they're coming through, and if they're brave enough, sometimes we sneak like a free ticket for their mom to bring them back in later, like, you know, like during the evening show. But
Well, so John says I once read, I think it was Madonna that said Ted Bundy tried to pick her up. I heard.
Was it Madonna or Deborah Harry?
I think it was Deborah
I-
Harry. No, she
Deborah
actually.
Harry.
Yeah, no, it was Blondie.
Blondie.
It was Blondie.
Yeah.
Madonna, not Madonna, because I could see Madonna trying to say, "Oh, I'm trying to get in on this too," but because we all know who the real Madonna is, and it's Lady Gaga. She is everything a Madonna wants to be.
I love Lady Gaga.
Yes,
I do.
I started liking her like before I even knew who she was because I saw I think it was the Bad Romance music video, but it was nothing but Hitchcock. Like the whole thing was nothing but Hitchcock, and I was like, I don't know who this is. I've never heard them before, but I now love them. And that's how I found out.
Yeah.
I fell in love with her. It was kind of funny, but my friend had we were hanging out all the time, and he would put on Bad Romance a lot. And I was kind of like really over it.
Right.
But then he was like, man, I actually played some more of the album and got to the song Teeth.
Right. Okay.
That song Teeth. And when I heard that, I was
Show
like,
me a teeth.
oh, I like that one. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to more of her.
It was kind of all over for me though when Cartman did Poker Face.
it was so good.
I had that moment where I'm like, did I make a good decision with this? Maybe not.
One of the coolest things about her, like that got me into her, was when they were like, she writes and sings her own music. Because at the time, well, even now, it's like it's all, especially at that level, it's just 5-10 different writers coming in and producing and all that stuff. But when they were like, she does all that, and she has her producers obviously. But I was like, okay, I'm going to listen. And then when I listened, I was like, I'm a metalhead and I'm all this other stuff, but I do like what she does here, and I can respect it. And the fact that she's so cool to her fans.
The song,
yeah, Judas is a good one.
She's a great actress too. I loved her in American Horror Story.
Oh God,
she is
yes,
awesome in Hotel. That's I could.
I even liked her as the witch, the witch character that she played. Like,
I have not the only
season.
The only season I've ever really watched over and over again.
Oh, when she was Saha.
Yes.
Yes.
See, the fact that she brought in on American Horror Story, her whole, that was her, I think her real record collection.
Yes.
That was the songs, everything on there was all Sisters of Mercy. And then when I heard the especially with the demon, the first part, and we were watching it. I think we just got Liz, Kami just got together, and we were. She was watching the same episode I was watching when she was in Brea or Whittier, and I'm here, and I'm like sitting there going, I was like, is that Sisters of Mercy? I was like, this is a badass scene walking through the hallway, and it's all doom 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 doom, and I was like, why is there a demon raping some guy right now? What's going on here? I was like, no,
the unicorn horn.
Oh yeah,
strap on.
She's our new Harley Quinn now officially in the Joker.
Yeah. I was a little bit hesitant, but at the same time, it's Gaga. Yeah, she's
you don't know about this?
Harley Quinn.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be awesome.
But it's the best version of Joker we've had, since Mark Hamill.
The trash said. Plus, there was a witness who said he yelled "Good grief" as he was running away.
I think though, if you watch the first Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. That's like a good thing to talk about, like in relation to serial killers, because like what that guy goes through, as in their version of the Joker, like there's no, you can't misunderstand why he turns into what he turns into.
I'm gonna make some people mad right now. I really like Jared Leto as the Joker, especially after you saw the end scene of
So I didn't mind him. All I minded was his makeup. I didn't like his look, but I didn't mind his personality.
Okay, look, Carl, look.
I liked his makeup.
If
it was
look,
cool.
guys,
that's what I didn't like.
If they kept the story going of it was actually Jason Todd.
I can get behind that.
It would have been cool as fuck because it was the Joker was dead because Batman lost it, and that's when he became grizzled and started killing.
Yeah,
and didn't care anymore, and then. It was Jason Todd who lost his mind. It was the new Joker. That would have been cool.
It reminded me of a guy that I on the east side of Dayton, Ohio, that I can go and buy weed from. Like
he looks like a detention desk.
Yeah.
If they would have kept on with the Snyderverse, I think I do think they could have redeemed it. I think they
do
could have
too.
did more with it.
I like you said when they did the whole re-release of the director's his original vision for Justice
Yeah.
League. Like when he got included into that, I liked him in that part. I liked that.
That was a new scene, wasn't it, Carl?
Yeah,
I
that
think
was all
that
new.
they
Hey,
hey Ron, hey Matt.
hey.
That was a
How's
new
it going?
scene, I want to say, that they actually made for that for a new dream that Batman had that was coming and with that, but which I did. I liked the fact that they were everything was going to end up with Superman losing his fucking mind, and that was the whole point. I was like, you got to stop that from happening because he's going to help out Apocalypse. He's going to help out Darkseid, or he's just going to take over Earth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her words sing through us, Lady Gaga. As
Yes, I love Lady Gaga.
Yep.
More blue. Nice. I need to do more green because
Pretty.
I had dyed my hair transparent yesterday. That's why I'm wearing a hat though. Because
like the Joker movie.
I was freaking out about how much I looked like Jerry Brudos in that picture the other day. So like, I'm wearing a hat today.
Okay. I need you to explain that one to me.
Falling Down was good.
If you like the Joker movie, okay.
I love the Joker movie.
Okay, I don't see the correlation, but they're both fantastic movies
because they're both obviously mentally handicapped people in completely different ways. With the stylization of the Joaquin, Phoenix Joker, it was similar to the stylization they did with Falling Down, where they showed you this guy that's doing terrible things, but they're also showing you that he's really not this terrible guy. It's just the situation. And
I don't
like how he's like,
I haven't seen Falling Down in a while.
It's one of my yearly rewatch movies.
I was gonna say I haven't seen it in a while. He doesn't kill anybody in the movie, does he? I don't.
I just
there is
remember
a scene
on second thought
when they want the ones that are trying to get his briefcase from him, where I can't remember if he actually beats them to death or not, but like he does a lot of legal stuff. Like I know he gets into a big thing with him, but I can't remember if he actually
everything he does in it is illegal, but I don't think he ever killed anybody in the movie, and it was it's
didn't he? Okay, it's been a while, but he snapped because it had something to do with his kid, right?
Yes, custody.
Seeing his kid, custody.
Yeah.
And then also the other part of the thing that I put
187 is a real good
187,
movie.
yeah.
Especially when the part where Samuel Jackson takes off his shirt and shows his scars off with what happened when he was actually shanked a whole bunch of times by one of his students.
And he does kill people. I am right. I just double checked it. He kills there are 7 deaths in that movie.
Okay.
And the gang members that are trying to steal his briefcase, there's like 4 he kills them. There's the neo-Nazi guy that works at the gun shop. Like, yeah, he does.
So
it's all situational.
Crash Dash says Falling Down, he kills a neo-Nazi and was planning to possibly kill his family.
You got the feeling that he might have been planning to abduct and kill his family. It just never came to fruition.
You know, the crazy part was that wasn't exactly the feeling I had from it, but now that's just never going to leave.
Well, like I said, Porky's. You now. The next time you guys watch Porky's,
now that's just never gonna leave.
Take out the upbeat music and the fun zany stuff going on there with the music, and it's fucked up.
It's just funny because I mentioned Falling Down earlier when I was talking about Rampage, like the whole mindset of it. But yeah, I mean, I can see that with the Joker, like totally. I'd actually watched that after everybody else had already watched it and talked about it for 2 years. It was just when the new Batman movie came out that I finally decided I was going to watch the new Joker movie right before I watched the Batman movie. So I watched them both back to back, and I'm like, how are these not in the same universe? That would be.
It only takes executives getting Joaquin Phoenix to say yes to it. That's all.
He says the gang members die in a car crash while trying to shoot him.
You're right. Yeah.
And he only shoots the surviving guy in the leg.
Okay.
I thought it was a headshot for some reason.
But yeah, no, I would love to see Joaquin Phoenix reprise his role as
Joker.
He is. Though
he is reprising his role.
The Lady Gaga one he's in. Like,
wait.
That's what we're talking about right now.
Okay, that's not what I understood here.
She's not taking over. She's not taking over for
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Done. She's done. She's left.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, she's done. She's Parts of the Caribbean. The new franchise is her new thing. So she's been wanting to leave DC for a while. Like a while. There's a chance that they're talking about that she might appear in the Peacemaker season 2, possibly.
Oh no,
But they're talking about like not using her anymore because that whole the Snyderverse is gone now, and everything's gone down. And there's supposedly not going to be another Suicide Squad movie from what I hear. So
hi
Grim.
Hey Grim.
Hey.
She had a hilarious live last night. Grim did. I was watching it there. For
I
her
missed
makeup.
it.
She had an on button
Oh,
like
yeah.
on her forehead with her makeup, dude. Like her whole setup was amazing last night.
Grim does really good with her makeup. I've noticed
yeah.
that, like, super, like, does really well with it.
She's the most
everything she does
talked
fits
about
her.
She's the most talked
Yep.
about the person at the haunt I work for because I have all of them. I'm like, you want to make TikToks? Go follow all the rotten people. And every time I come in, they're like, oh, have you talked to Grim today? I liked her new TikTok. And I'm like,
Matt makes fun TikTok too.
dude,
I
yes,
laugh at him.
they all make awesome TikToks.
I just suck at
They really,
TikTok.
really do.
I really do.
The only reason I
suck
have
at keeping
TikTok
on
at
top
all
of
is
it.
because of them, so I can see theirs. Like that's
Mhm.
it. I don't actually do anything with it.
We are almost
So
2 hours.
we are
in.
almost at 2 hours, guys.
5 minutes, 2 hours. That is
5 minutes. By the way, she was Android 3.
That's right. I saw some of that in the feed, but I haven't had a chance to watch the stream.
Wait, Android as in like Dragon Ball Android, or I'm sorry, I just saw Dragon Ball Super the other day. I cried. I was like, this is awesome.
He was. You know the funny part?
I was like, Gohan finally did it. I was like, they finally give us Americans the Gohan we all deserve. I was like, this is awesome.
So, no, so we were watching it and he was crying, and I kind of got the sniffles.
I actually wasn't crying. I just hadn't closed my eyes in an hour and a
there
half.
were tears.
It was so cool.
There were tears. But the funny part is I got the sniffles around the same time, but for a completely different reason. My best friend in high school was really, really into Dragon Ball Z. And to the point where he always wore bowling shirts. That was just the thing at that time, early 2000s. Bowling shirts and Dickies. And the spiked, hair. And the puka shell necklaces. I
remember those. Not gonna lie, I probably had one.
Right. And I started crying because I was like, Adam would have loved this. I was at a point in this, and then I look over and he's crying. And I was like, are you in my head right now?
We were
why are you crying?
we were getting getting concessions and stuff like that, because we got our tickets first and we went back to Five Guys and ate some burgers and stuff like that. Five Guys.
Jeffrey Dahmer, the original Five Guys.
Well, I'll say this: our theater, where it's set up at the marketplace, Jeffy, he ate Five Guys before it was cool. But before, the way it's set up, it's seriously, it's right out the theater steps and everything's right there, so you can literally go get food and then head right into the theater. You don't have to walk a distance. But we're walking back in and we're getting something to drink and stuff like that, and some popcorn and whatever, or no M&Ms and stuff. And
No,
Liz,
you walked into the thing because you were so excited that
but you were
walked straight in, so I went out and got something.
You were sitting there, or maybe it was when we got our tickets, but you were you saw one of the workers there you liked who did his nails and all sort of stuff, Mark, and she's like, we're here to see Dragon Ball Z, and I looked over, I was like, super. I was like, nerd just came right out.
Both Mark and I, the guy that works there. Okay, first off, I always love his nails. Second, he was like, yeah, my wife tells me that, corrects me all the time. And so he and I started sitting there talking. We are on Twitch, by the way.
Right now, actually.
Yes, we are currently on Twitch. PBDC TV.
Yep.
But yeah, so he and I were like, yeah, okay, whatever. While he's all super.
No, she's all, I was like, super, and then she started walking away. I was like, babe, there is a difference between Dragon Ball Z and Super, okay?
And both Mark and I just go, okay.
And then I started going even further. I was like, technically
Toriyama
made GT non-existent, and then now they're I was like, this movie starts off, it's at the time when GT was supposed to start, and it was like, now we're into it. There's Pan, Gohan's daughter, who is the star of Dragon Ball GT.
I have seen all of Dragon Ball Z. I started to watch GT and was like, what is this shit? And I stopped watching it. And I kind of want to go back to it now with Super, but I haven't yet because they burned me on GT so hard.
Super's awesome.
Raz, what's a show you love?
Oh God, there's a lot of shows. Right now it's Sandman. Today, right now it's Sandman. Otherwise,
did you see the newest episode that came out?
I just started watching it 2 days ago. I'm trying to pace myself. I get to this episode and I completely identify, like in life, with a character that I quickly realize is not someone I should be identifying with. And I don't want to give too many spoilers away. I will only say that there is this one poor son of another character who has decided that his dream in life is that everyone tell the truth and is honest with each other. And that is my personal dream.
That is a good episode, but it is messed up.
I identified with him like mentally, like so strongly, and then I knew how it was going to play out. I knew it.
We were
watching it play out. Was like, oh my god, this is exactly what would happen to me in real life if I had this magic power.
We got out of a Dragon Ball superhero and like we were talking about it, and I was like, look, I know it's not spot on with how they look. I was like, but one thing they are doing with this, and they did spoil through TikTok. I get a lot of stuff spoiled because of it. But the one thing that I was like, they're taking dialogue and scenes from the comic book and putting it into the show. And I was like, the whole scene where he's with Lucifer, saying that, how do you have
I'm so upset about
the whole thing with the people in there? He's like, you have no, Lucifer's telling them you have no power here, and he's all, well, how do you have people in hell if they can't dream? So I have power here.
But it's what they can't dream of, that you see the look of Lucifer and you're like, holy shots fired. But if there's another show I got to name, and this is a shameless plug, I'm sorry, it's Rotten and Grim Kids, because not because I'm in it or anything, but because
Grimsall. What shows are you into, Raz? No, I'm kidding.
Wink, wink.
That wasn't a wink from her at all. I just had to. I need to just plug.
Wait a minute, are we plugging our own shows now?
Yes.
Yeah, that's your
Go
We have been plugging our show for the last 2 hours now. It's your turn.
And go, Carl.
Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat is back 3 weeks from tomorrow, September 12th. We will be talking about a slasher film from the 80s called The Prowler with special effects by Tom Savini.
Nice.
Yay, Tom Savini.
I'm actually going to tune into that for my cats because my cats love to watch TV for some reason. So I thought if they get to watch a show about a cat, they'll be pleased when I come home that evening. So that's my plan. So if you see
then you'll just have to do like Spooky Tales with Steve the Cat on rerun all the time for your cat.
Oh yeah, because if you see like these weird likes come from Crowley and HP, that's my cats. Like they're watching you, they're fans. It's gonna happen this year. I will take reaction videos of them watching it too, like and post it,
All right.
I love The Prowler.
I have not seen that one, so I'm going to actually be watching this and not commenting this time in your feed, other than to say "wow," because normally I'm there with Carl going, "Yep," and this time I'm like, I haven't seen The Prowler.
I think we do follow you, Trash Stash. We do. I actually do follow you.
I'll follow. If not, I'll get everything set up.
So he does slasher films as well.
That's rad.
Nice.
I need to get you guys the copy of the first movie I was ever in because it's a B slasher film and it's like meant to.
Yes,
I so you guys can like make fun of it. So Slasher's Gone Wild and it's hilarious. It's on Tubi. Like, a version of it's on Tubi right now. It's hilarious. I was like 18 or 19 and like didn't know what I was doing. He just said,
is that the one where you got like stuck to the ground with blood?
Blood, yeah. It's that story. Yeah. And every day I come on set, and this guy, he discovered me because I worked at a haunted attraction, and I became friends with him. And he's like, okay, listen, you can act. You're really good at improv. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a script that just tells you where to walk and what to do. But everything you're going to say, that's all you, buddy. And he would roll. And that was the first time I was ever behind the camera, and I'm like... it took me a minute to like... So like all the weird shit, like at one point in time you come back and I'm like, welcome back to Watch the Bitch Bleed. Like all those lines I did, not scripted. I didn't know what I was doing. I was making it up.
I could imagine being stuck with blood because we for a while there when we were
I tried putting blood all over me and it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, we were doing this whole costume face paint stuff and we had a gallon of fake blood.
Still do.
We still do, yeah, and it's sealed up.
Smells like vinegar.
I was dripping and doing the whole black metal stuff, and
it just wiped off his makeup.
It just went like this, and like it's in my beard when we're doing shows. I think we're doing cooking shows or something like that.
It looks horrible.
Well, it looked cool, like it looked bloody, but
I'm not gonna say what it looked like.
It depends on what you're using too, because some things are stickier than others. Like we use the Caro syrup with like, but we would also add in like not Hawaiian punch, but like the generic Hawaiian punch, like the really like. Overly red stuff that we mix it together with dye, right? So it forms a gel, and it was middle of summer. They had to take an
Oh,
ice
wow.
scraper for an industrial sized ice scraper for a
That's
tractor
a good one,
to
John.
scrape me out of the grass just so I could stand.
I was lucky with this because it's stuff I bought at Spirit. I was
Walmart.
lucky that I
Oh,
had
no.
Walmart. I was lucky that I had black and white black metal face paint on because otherwise my face would have been
Cats?
stained with
Yeah.
blood for a week or two.
Man, it was
I hear
weird.
cats.
That's Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Steve woke up from his nap. He's in my lap.
So Mother de la Mort, what's next, dog?
Yes. Well. I am doing research on the Magnificent Seven, the 7 cemeteries over there in London, and why it was necessary. So we'll get to talk about a lot of ooey gooey bodies popping up out of the ground and stuff like that.
There's going to be some guy in the background producing some. I'm just kidding.
I think an upcoming thing that I'm going to do based on today's conversation is a sock puppet like Masterpiece Theater scenario. Where I'm just gonna puppet the sock
That
puppet
would be
once in a
freaking amazing.
while. I almost did it after the last break. I almost did it, and I was like, no, I gotta save it.
And I guess I'll bring us up.
Well,
Hi,
you.
here's Steve. So this coming Wednesday, I will be talking to Artsy and Munchie,
Nice.
and that'll be fun. And then I'm not sure what we're talking about on Friday.
Oh, you don't know what's next, dog? We are talking about the chessboard killer in Russia.
Oh God damn it!
Palenko,
I forgot.
I think his name
Yeah, to
is.
go Russian again.
Yes.
And we're
He's
right
doing
back
this
to
to me on
rubles.
purpose.
Right back to rubles.
It came full circle.
Well, we did the Rostov Ripper Chikatilo, and
What's
every
up,
time,
Tyler?
Tyler, you come in at the end.
I'm getting kidnapped tomorrow. I don't know if I told you guys. I'm
Oh.
getting
Oh,
kidnapped
so you got a kidnapping ransom note
Yes,
type thing?
I'm being kidnapped to another show temporarily because I guess
Oh.
Talking Scared wants me to come and talk to them tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live.
Nice.
By the way,
Fun.
Raz,
They talk about haunts and weird stuff. I should have probably mentioned that. I forget.
by the way, Raz, Tyler F and
Must
Wes,
be a poor sport.
Scurry Face, and this is Raz.
Yeah. So yes, Tyler,
horns,
F and
man.
Wes.
I'm Vigo the Carpathian.
Nice.
when Tyler is here, I'm Vigo the Carpathian.
I don't. Well, shit. Well, you know me. I don't check Facebook like I should.
I remember Facebook exists some days because I get a message from you guys. I'm like, oh shit, there's Facebook.
Yeah, I have had issues. I saw the howdy.
Oh, no, say hi.
We said hi again.
Oh, to Raz. Oh,
It's hello to you, Raz. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was saying now. Thank you.
we're talking about
You did it on purpose.
I don't know.
Wait,
The
are we supposed to
chessboard
know what
killer.
we're saying?
I don't have a. Yeah, all I can see is must be a poor sport.
Chessboard killer. No, well,
No,
You're not
that
wrong.
would be the Monopoly killer. That
We're
never
gonna-
ends well.
Part please,
Never.
bitch.
which is funny. There has never been a Monopoly killer, but there is a chessboard killer.
No, it says I was saying howdy to Raz. Jeez.
That's what
Lord.
I said, and then
You
you're
know
like,
what?
Way to read a room,
Whatever.
like literally.
boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. Every time we go to our gym,
I was like, they're playing the Boots and Cats song.
I was like, I'm just sitting there in the spa, leave me alone. Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
The Monopoly killer is who they based Clue on.
Sometimes you find a body and you just need to build a hotel on it. I mean,
Yeah.
You do. You do.
It worked for Holmes.
Or yeah, I was gonna say, or build a hotel to keep the bodies.
Yeah.
Or they come in and repossess all your shit and go bankrupt and knock down your houses to build hotels and find the body.
When
that
are
happens a
you
lot.
two gonna join me on a haunt tour?
We would
We
talk
would
to us behind the scenes, and
Absolutely,
we would love to.
it.
We would all love to do that.
You should extend a hunt toward Ohio. I'm not plugging Hell's Dungeon or nothing.
You, well, I mean, that's what's implied here. You are PBDC TV with us. You can,
Oh, they
you
would
can
murder
show
me
off
if-
your haunt.
if any day I didn't go to my haunt to work when it was open, I would be murdered, like in my sleep. They would find me.
No.
They would just kill me.
And then we would be talking about it on this show.
Just shameless promoting here.
Hey,
Like, you guys could show up
Tyler,
to the freak show and we can do a dance party right in the middle of it. You know, like right.
there
in the middle
are
of
a
it.
couple like smaller haunts coming back to Bakersfield this year.
Yeah, we are finally getting. That's another. Bakersfield has been, or Kern County hasn't. Everything is done here in Bakersfield, in Kern County, because we're the population here. They haven't done it. They stopped doing it a year or two before COVID, and then because of COVID, they never brought anything back. And now this year, we're finally getting some haunts back here.
Hey, I know a guy who promotes and visits haunts. He's kind of a douche,
but I know a guy.
Not for real though. If you guys want to go on like a real like haunt crawl, come to Ohio, legit, because I'm telling you, like we have more than everywhere else in the world combined, like more. 130.
Ohio has all horror stuff.
Well,
Ohio is like the epicenter of horror.
We have only 131 of our haunts are listed on Scare Factor, but we actually have over. The last estimation was like 476 haunts, and a number of those are just like pop-up haunts that are different places every year. But that was before the pandemic too, so we were
looking into some of them. There are some houses here that are doing the whole pop-up thing, and they're actually becoming known.
It's a big thing. Like they're popping up at they were popping up at drive-ins and stuff during the pandemic. Like you do drive-through ones and stuff. And I know there's
horror. I'm in. Take my money.
Every time I say the word horror, everyone thinks I say horror. Like every time. Your mom does this to me all the time. You make a movie about
Ohio is the epicenter of horror.
By the way, Trash Jazz says they got a good picture of him in the go to jail space. He looks like Clint Eastwood.
Wow, 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 wow.
Now I'm thinking of the Vandals.
I want to be a cow. Wait.
Going to be a cowboy.
You were so worried about only having like 5 minutes worth of script left, like 2 hours ago.
You know what? We got to get Tyler in here. We can push it 3 hours. I think we can do this.
This will be a part 3.
Oh, we're through. We are through with the 5 minutes of notes that I had.
No, okay, we do a part 3, then have.
Well, we need to do the list of victims. We need to do the list of victims.
Yeah.
Last time I went on a ghost, I got bored. Started fucking with the actual things we were about to do too. Sometimes
there were no fucking ghosts.
Oh my god! I actually did a paranormal. I used to do this like a lot, like professionally, and I worked with this guy, like this new guy we were bringing on the team, and he wanted the place so bad to be haunted. So he was taking like little rocks and stuff and tossing them places, thinking that not realizing that we had a camera pointed like in the area when he was doing it. Like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And we thought we were catching something. We went back and watched the footage. Fired the guy. Brought him into the office. Like, dude, you were throwing rocks over there. That's what the sounds were coming from.
I would have had a fart box.
Wait, I'm sorry.
I would have literally had a fart box at a haunt. Like, did you hear that?
Tyler,
flashing like ghost.
I have to apologize because I really read this comment wrong the first time. And I forgot the width when I read it in my head.
Wait, what part? I just Vigo the Carpathian out on this right now. What part are you talking about?
I got bored and started fucking.
Wait, I got bored and started fucking the actual.
Yeah, no width. But to death, so there were ghosts after.
Tyler's like, I want to send you a message after this, Frank. I need to be on your show. I started fucking an investigator because it pissed me off and I got bored.
Investigator fuckers and the women who love them.
Shit. Well, I did say I was bored.
And you know what boards are made out of?
Wood.
It's ectoplasm.
I heard. I thought boards were made out of penises. No, I'm just kidding.
He slimed me.
It's one of those that weighs the same as the.
What?
That's like my favorite superhero, the Tick. They called him the Dick. That would be his catchphrase. But it would be This is why I'm supposed to have adult chaperones.
I'm so stuck on that. I got bored and started fucking the investigator. He should have been dressed like that.
This is the real reason that picture is over here. Yeah. I don't know my right from left in the camera, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm all.
there.
Yeah.
Air traffic control. Oh, it's that side.
It sucked because I got tested. They gave me EVP.
Give you EVP.
Just dudes all sniffling after.
I hear that's a bitch to get rid of.
Just imagine the end of that, just walking out. Hey man, you okay there? I need to call the cops.
Dare you?
Oh, you shouldn't have been dressed like that. I was bored.
We're gonna cover that, and we're gonna make a sequel to that Cardiversity movie, The Entity, where the ghost has relations with her. But that's like the sequel is called EVP.
Shit never ends. Constant voices in my
It follows part 2. EVP.
That's a big problem, man. In all kinds of things.
Have you guys seen Todd in the Book of Pure Evil?
That's one of my favorite shows ever.
I've seen
French dick when he asked.
That's what I was thinking about too. I kept waiting for them to do like the finale was supposed to be an animated film, and I understand it was done, but I don't know if they ever actually released it or
thought
what
they
happened.
did. We haven't found. I've seen previews for it.
I can't find it anywhere, and it is one of my favorite shows.
And Jay's in that, like so.
Like I was. Oh, so this is what we do? You just add random cuss words with random nouns.
Right.
Shit, cock lamp, shit rooster, ass taxi.
Shit rooster.
And that's something you hear on. I heard that for the first time on Trailer Park Boys. I think shit rooster.
The exorcism.
Ectogism and exorcism.
Dog fuck.
Chicken, cock chicken.
Cock chicken.
It's just Cartman getting ready to.
Barbara Streisand. So there's this place when I was growing up called Pearls, and it said open 25 hours a day, right?
Okay.
And even when there was no more smoking indoors,
Did you say 25 hours a day?
And that's what the sign said. 25 hours a day. And this was a place that
I must go there.
Always went to. Well, actually, apparently they packed up, and I think they reopened in Laughlin.
I thought you were about to take your tits out for a second. I was like, okay, cool.
And the views go up.
Bruce Lee Red After Dark.
Was there a little special?
Defy the laws of physics.
Maybe only at Earl's there's this magic 25th hour
magic
that you really
hour.
experience. Yeah, like when you hear the magic hour, it's not about photography. That's about Earl.
When Earl gets bored.
My friend Allie and I have an ongoing joke, which ended up being funnier because of Todd in the Book of Pure Evil. Because we were looking, because people just write on the wall randomly in the smoking area, because they had an area you could smoke and eat still.
Right.
And we look over on the wall and it says anus flower.
That's what happens here at hour 25. Anus flower balloon.
Because we say like douche canoe, twat waffle. And then that was the day anus flower got added into our repertoire.
Would that just be a fart?
I mean, smells do have a bouquet.
We do every time our cat comes around and he flicks his tail at us. We're like, "Oh, look, he took a picture of us."
Reminds me of the episode of Bob's Burgers where her sister only paints like animals from behind with her anuses.
Yes, that was the first episode of Bob's Burgers I ever saw.
Mine too. It's the one that made me realize I need to watch this show.
Read that.
She
That's
mentioned
fucking
Earl,
hilarious.
and Vigo noticed her taking her tits out. Earl must know what he's doing in that extra hour.
Boots and cats and boots and cats.
Of course, you know what my brain went to this time? No burritos, just tacos. No burritos, just tacos. No.
And that makes me think about Taco Flavored Kisses, the best song ever on
Taco Flavored Kisses.
I used to piss my ex-wife off all the time because she was in Puerto Rican and that was her ringtone for.
I had Fergie on my ringtone for the longest time. I'm not gonna lie.
My current one is the song "Power of the Night" from Critters when my wife calls me.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that the one with Leonardo DiCaprio in it, or is that the
No. That's Critters
3? Isn't it?
Yeah. I'm talking like the first movie, like the whole video, the Power of the Night. They always did that.
My favorite one of those movies
I
is the
still
fourth
wanna
one.
get-
I love the fourth one. Yeah.
I still need the touch for my
You got
ringtone.
Cybertronic Orchestra, man, playing that. It's so good.
We were making the joke earlier about Ralphie Macchio, and you started singing the best around. I just want to be like the best.
You're the best.
Around.
You're the best.
Critters too, because fuck the Easter Bunny.
But dude,
Oh,
the
that's
Critter Ball. That was the very first like movie marathon I did with my current wife. Like the very first one we ever did for no reason was Critters. That's why I use that song for her all the time. But like we always like Critters.
When I was a little kid, watching when I really got into Godzilla in the 80s and stuff like that, my dad would make a point to show it to me on Sundays. I was afraid of horror movies and all this other stuff, and I would literally have to leave. I would leave the room, like, because they would play Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla over again, Godzilla versus Megalon, all of them. I would leave the room because I knew Critters or something else was coming up, or Gremlins. I was afraid of Gremlins when I was a kid. But then I got older. I was like, these movies are fucking rad.
See, my oldest was that way with Tales with the Crypt. As soon as she heard that music, she would go running through the house screaming, "Ah!"
That series was actually one of the series that actually started getting me into it because I don't know, the Crypt Keeper, I really liked him as a kid. So
I'm bummed though that the new Tales from the Crypt couldn't get the license for the Crypt Keeper, so we don't have him back as Crypt Keeper because like he is like a hell of a voice actor, dude. He does cartoons, all kinds of stuff. Like the dude's amazing.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Okay, I gotta pee.
We're getting the messages. We all have to pee.
I'll be in hell.
Tyler, help us go 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Cameron's closet scared the hell out of me as a kid.
Cat's Eye. I still to this day cannot watch Cat's Eye.
Yeah, that was a good one.
For me, it's really weird. Troll 1, the first one, the good one. Like when you saw the troll for the first time, like down underneath in that like basement laundry room, and he's just
and they made people into those pods.
Yeah, the first one, it's stupid and creepy.
Wait, Cocoon? What?
No, yeah, but
the cocoon. Yeah,
it's a stupid and creepy movie. But like the main troll, for some reason, that makeup when I was a little kid was like, what is this? And it like freaked me out until I realized that it was just a horror fantasy.
Oh my god, Rawhead Rex scared the hell out of me, and I was like 17, 18 years old when I saw it.
You know what would really scare me even more than Rawhead Rex is if actually Clive Barker was able to actually do the real version of Rawhead Rex.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a fun version, and that's the reason why he took over and was like, we got such an awesome Hellraiser was because of that. But if you actually, the real Rawhead Rex story is a million. That's comical and messed up. The real Rawhead Rex story is fucked up.
We got
now Rawhead Rex though is based on actual folklore. Him and what is it, Bloody Bones or something like that?
Yeah, well, it's the Book of Blood that he. There's 3 books of blood, and it's one of the series in there. I think it is somewhat based on real Celtic folklore and stuff like that.
Yeah,
he's a Celtic god, is what he is.
Tyler says, "Oh my god, Troll was great. I was scared of rings after that movie. Don't stab me in the neck."
Did you know that movie generated a major lawsuit? if you go back to the main character, their last name was Potter, and that little boy, his name was Harry, and he was the wizard in that movie and in the comic books that followed it. So he actually started a big lawsuit with J.K. Rowling when Harry Potter first came out, and they paid him off. You can look this up. They paid him off because he invented a wizard character named Harry Potter and called
They
him.
had the money to pay him off fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what you call hush money.
They're like, fuck it, here's your million, have fun.
But he legit made a wizard named Harry Potter first, and it's so weird.
The movie Dolls.
That was a good one.
That's the one that scared me the most when I was a kid. It came out in what, 90? 90?
It was slightly a sequel to Child's Play and stuff like that because people got into the whole, Chucky and all that stuff, and then
Dolls, Dollhouse, Playhouse.
By the way, everybody who doesn't know, it was
Tourist Trap bothered me too.
Child's Play was the original name of Chucky and all that stuff, so which is awesome. I like that name better than what they use now.
Shut the fuck up and give book and small time conventions. No, the thing about Dolls that I remember now, mind you, when it came out on, I know we gotta go in a second. Go.
Okay.
And then we'll end.
See, this is why I always have an empty Mountain Dew bottle over here. You just I'm drinking a Mountain Dew. It looks the same color, so you're not going to notice if I put it back on the desk at all. I'll turn the apple back on.
There's the scene where they follow the trail of blood to the guillotine, to the court jester doll laughing with a decapitated head.
Yeah.
Okay, so my family has always rented movies immediately, gone to see movies immediately. Like it just.
I thought you were going to say your family owned a guillotine.
No. I have guillotine earrings. But no.
My family owned a guillotine, so it really creeped me out.
Yeah, this thing called horseshoes and guillotine. Like
my family really did not like French monarchs for some odd reason. I don't know what was going on here.
We may need this. We may need this for protection.
I was named after a queen.
Elizabeth Battery. Well, she wasn't a queen, but you were named which queen?
Queen Elizabeth?
Oh, yeah, that queen. Yeah.
We have to take
I'm American. I don't bow and need to know queen.
He means the wrestling manager, though.
All right.
I
love showing up late. You always end up staying extra talk with me.
Tyler, you were coming on one of our shows one of these times.
Please. Okay, guys. I think that's a wrap.
Yeah, we all have to go pee. Badly have to go pee.
And the boxer's arguing with his mom out there.
Yep. All right, guys.
Have a great night.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Everybody, thank you.
Later, guys.
I don't know, set the world higher. I don't know, in my I have